In game 2, Dirk and the Mavs exploded. It's game 3, Sacktown, Kings are reloaded.
Yeah, with C-Web and Bobby Jackson banged up, Kings gotta come harder, give this game up.
The Mavs wanna score another 132. Who's gonna step up for the Kings and come through?
Can Dirk and Van Exel pull it off again? Well, they gotta come hard, cause Kings came to win.
Frazier and Greg Anthony inside Playoff Central. Greg, set me up for this game.
Well, it's going to be important. There's a lot of nervous energy in Arco Arena right now, but they have a lot of guys in Sacramento who are accustomed to being the #1 guy. Bobby Jackson's had big games all year. Mike Bibby stepped up. You know, Jimmy Jackson's helped this team, so they have to just come out with that energy and that passion, and they can win this game.
Kings have never been in this situation before. This is the first time Chris Webber has ever missed a postseason game. Kings-Mavs, Game 3. Enjoy.
Hard not to enjoy, Kevin, as we welcome you live inside the loud house of the league. Sold out for the 176th straight time. Arco Arena looking great tonight for Game 3 of the best-of-7 Western Conference semifinal. The Dallas Mavericks, the Sacramento Kings, all square at one. Good evening, everyone, with Michelle Sequoia, Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico, NBA playoff record book at hand, just in case we have a game like we had in Game 2. What about the absence of Chris Webber? Your thought on the biggest impact on Sac?
Well, first of all, if you can't enjoy this game, find another sport. You won't enjoy this game. This is where it's at right here, Sacramento and Dallas. And with the loss of Chris Webber, two of the big guys are going to have to step up. Vlade Divac is one of those guys. He can pass, he can score. You look at what he did in Game 2. The numbers are going to have to be more reflective of what he did in Game 1, along with Keon Clark stepping his game up. But with this team, so many weapons, anybody's liable to step up and have a big game.
Well, as we look at the Bud Light starting lineups on the Sacramento side, you will see that Hedo Turkoglu is the one taking Webber's place, along with Divac, Peja Stojakovic, Doug Christie, and Mike Bibby. Dallas with their familiar 5. Steve Nash, Michael Finley, Eduardo Nahara, Dirk Nowitzki, and Rafe LaFrentz, with Nick Van Exel, 36 points in the last game, waiting to come off the bench. All square at one as they were last year. Both teams averaging just about 240 points a game. So tighten up the track shoes tight. Get ready for a race. Joey Crawford is the official, who is the crew chief, along with Hugh Hollins and Mike Callahan working the game tonight. A lot of excitement here in Sacramento as the playoffs come back. The only team not to lose on its home floor this postseason. The Kings start with it. Check the wrinkle in the matchups without Webber out there. Nowitzki has Vlade, who comes down the lane to Bibby, who told me right before the tip he will be more aggressive on both ends tonight. And he starts with a 2.
And you saw the Mavericks, doesn't matter whether they hold you or they don't hold you. They're going to get out of the net quick and go and try to get into their offense quickly.
Nash up top. Nahara the screen. Misses the 2. Divac gets the rebound. Bibby tees Turkoglu. Good playoff last year when injuries forced him into the lineup. It was the injury to Peja Stojakovic that forced Turkoglu to play in the deciding 5th game of this meeting between these two teams. Adrian Griffin lost it out of bounds, and here's Michelle Sequoia.
Well, Mike, the other key injury in this game, Bobby Jackson, it happened in the last game. He's not wearing a mask over that right eye because the fracture to the orbital bone is so close to the eyeball that if they had fitted a mask to it, it would have impaired his vision. He swears he wouldn't have worn it anyway, Mike.
He said it would have bothered him too much. Christie from the outside connects, and that's very important for Sacramento. Doug Christie's been struggling from the field.
Well, when we talk about who's going to step up for the Kings, it's not only going to be important for them to score, but who's going to guard Dirk Nowitzki.
Good ball rotation to Griffin. So Adrian Griffin inserted into the starting lineup here and came out 7 of 12, a career playoff best 15 in the Game 2 dominant performance in Dallas. Bibby splits the double, goes right to the hoop. And Vlade Divac is shaken up. Adelman telling the team to give a foul as there's 5-on-4 here. Nobody saw that. Divac back up, coming to join the play as Nash misses. Bibby gets the rebound and goes out of bounds. And now we'll check on Vlade Divac. Rick Adelman quickly going to take a full timeout. He might have gotten kicked, and perhaps by his own teammate.
Let's see right here, pick and roll. He's going to roll to the bucket. Right behind him, Powell.
Bibby was legs flailing. He got Vlade. Divac looks like he'll be all right. Chris Webber just joining the...
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by XM Satellite Radio. Now you can hear ESPN Radio plus 100 digital channels coast to coast on XM Satellite Radio. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And Honda, a versatile family of cars, minivans, and SUVs.
The fans were cheering here as Chris Webber was up on the big screen. He made his way out to the floor right at that timeout. Vlade Divac is going to stay in the game, by the way. He is okay, the reason they took that timeout. They can't lose Vlade. They did lose Chris. In the third quarter of Game 2 in Dallas, a torn meniscus. That's the area that is between the thigh bone and the shin bone, essentially. And a knee that had been bothering Webber. As you saw, he had the brace on it for a while. MRI yesterday confirming the worst fears, a torn meniscus. And as Kevin mentioned a moment ago in the studio, first time Chris Webber is missing a playoff game. Why not the surgery? Well, you usually wait at least a day for some swelling to go down for an arthroscopic surgery. But Rick Adelman was telling us that Webber wants to give it a chance, that if it can heal over the next couple of weeks, you're in that 2-3 week neighborhood, then Webber might be able to play. If he had the surgery, there'd be no chance of him coming back. It's a small chance as the ball is out of bounds off Dallas, but still they are maintaining the opportunity, and you see what you lose. Your best scorer and the guy who does so much and draws, Tom, so much attention.
You just feel bad for him. You work your whole season to get here, battle through the injuries throughout the course of the year. And it's easy to say, we're a young team, we'll be back. But you never know when you're going to be back. You never know when you're going to have as good a chance as they had this year to win a championship. But I will say, if there's one team that is adept at dealing with injuries, it's his Sacramento team. Bibby, Jackson, Stojakovic, Webber this year. I mean, everybody being out with injuries, so they know what it's like to play shorthanded.
Nobody played all 82 games this year. Bibby, remember, he missed the first 27 games with a stress fracture in his right foot. Second to Toronto for most games missed because of injury this year. Divac showing no signs of the bang he took a moment ago. Hits both free throws. Dallas is on a drive. They've only scored 2 points in 2 minutes. Unheard of.
Get it going.
Game 2. Sacramento's defending better. It's been a half-court game. That helps Dallas. Finley tries to break it open. He missed the 3. Good rebound, though, by Griffin. Mavericks 1 of 5 thus far.
Look at Dirk a shot. Get him to hoist one up there. He hasn't shot the ball yet.
No, he is not. Nash has missed 2 shots. Now 3. All flowing Sacramento's way in the first 3 minutes. Christie turned away by Nahara, whose presence forced Griffin's hand, and then Nash's takeaway.
Well, that was good defense. That's accidental by Dallas.
Come on. Here is Finley over Stojakovic. Brutal shooting start. 1 of 7 for the Mavs, and here is Peja. Griffin on the board.
That's as bad as you will see him miss a jump shot the rest of this evening.
Nahara, offense not his first thought. He's in there for hustle, scrappiness, defense. Dirk makes his first shot of the night. Nowitzki coming off 24 points and 12 boards in Game 2, 18 and 11 in Game 1. Just shy of averaging a double-double here in the playoffs, as he was during the regular season. He knocks that one out. Sack ball.
He is just so long. When he gets the ball and squares you up, I mean, Peja Stojakovic isn't short. He's 6'10". You just don't realize that because he can shoot the ball so well. Watch him spin and keep the ball above his head. Boop, you can't stop that.
Good defense by Nahara. Knocks this away. Finley draws the D and kicks to Nash. First field goal of the night for Steve. Coming off 8 of 11 in Game 2. Divac spinning in the lane. Well, certainly more involved than he was in Dallas on Thursday night.
When we talk about pace, that took all of 5 seconds on a made bucket to get it down and score.
Bibby gets a foul for being too physical with Nahara's screen. You can log on to NBA.com for the exclusive 2003 playoff section featuring live post-game press conferences, photo galleries, video highlights, and more. Love it live on NBA.com. And a technical foul is called by Joey Crawford. It's on Eduardo Nahara. Nahara and Bibby, after that screen, just kept jawing. Joey Crawford says enough lip, a T on Nahara.
And you always feel horrible, too, when you're like one of the role guys. I think when a superstar gets a T, coach usually like, I don't worry about it. Go out there and get him. Somebody like that gets a T, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing out there? You can see right there the screen on Bibby. And I'm not sure exactly what's said after that. Maybe the bumping into him. If the bumping into him was the T, I'm going to say that was a pretty cheap one.
They're back at it, banging again, go to the floor here, and it's called on Nahara. Some of the aggression Mike Bibby talked about, both ends of the floor. He's not hanging for getting caught up in that stuff as he did in game 2. 2 on Nahara, and Van Exel coming in.
Well, Nahara's a physical player. He's not going to shy away from contact, and they're even going to get smaller now with Nahara heading out and Nick Van Exel coming in. In essence, Dirk Nowitzki will play the center position, both offensively and defensively, although there's nothing stoic about him on the offensive end.
Oh, he's battling with Vlade Divac, and Divac picked up the offensive foul. So Nick Van Exel inserted into the game after that Divac foul, and Nick just had one of those Nick Van Exel unconscious evenings. 14 of 19 from the field, 36 points. Most points by a reserve in more than a decade in the NBA playoffs. Earl Bailey was the last to go that high coming off the bench. Griffin baseline, good rotation there. Good D. Nowitzki. Turkoglu coming out made a difference there. Divac back to the floor. Van Exel's first shot. Nick calling for the foul.
But Divac's doing a nice job on the glass. He's got to get some help. Page has got to be back. Turkoglu's got to be back and give him some help on the defensive glass.
Hedo Turkoglu. Nowitzki gets the board. Vlade going for that best foreign film Oscar once again.
Oh,
on cue. Here is Nowitzki.
The Trout.
And Nowitzki and Vlade are jawing back and forth, back up the floor.
Just call him King Salmon, Trout, whatever you want to call him. The guy can flop like no other, but the official's not buying it that time.
Look at this.
There he goes.
On Vlade. Correct call. He's going to get a tee if he's not careful.
You see right there, Nowitzki getting on him, and I'm not sure. He's just trying to get his hands off him is what he's trying to do.
It looked less of a foul on tape than it did live, didn't it? Hey, you play for them, you get some of them.
Yep, exactly.
Van Exel. Doug Christie was all fired up. He and Bobby Jackson about shutting down Van Exel. Their defensive ability was challenged. Bibby rimmed it out. Nowitzki has been very physical and aggressive thus far. Whoa. Keon Clark's going to come into the game. Divac's coming out with 2.
Well, with this lineup, it'll be interesting. Neither team has a dominant rebounder out there. Who's going to be able to control the glass on both ends of the court?
Griffin let Bibby fly by. Dallas 4 of 14 here in the opening 6 minutes. Stojakovic inside. Foul on the floor. So 1 on Nash as Weber continues to watch. A little bit off the edge of the bench, obviously, to keep that knee out of harm's way. Stojakovic deep triple. Nowitzki goes up and gets it. Page has been great from behind the arc against the Mavs last year and this.
Well, he needed a map to find out where the arc was on that one.
Stojakovic came over for the double. Nash missed his 3. So Nash is 1 of 5. Finley's 0 of 3. Pager couldn't catch it. Comes right to Bibby. Toss to Clark. Well, everything went in for Dallas in game 2. Nothing going in right now. Van Exel trying to make it happen. Nice drop for Dirk. And Nowitzki, only Mav who's on pace here. 3 of 4. He has 3 of the 5 Dallas field goals for Don Nelson, who's gone for cotton in the ears here at Arco tonight. It is that loud in this building. Van Exel fouled Christie.
And the great thing about having a guy like Keon Clark, he just throw it anywhere up there. Captain Extendo will get it.
And Chris Webber so desperately is dying to be on the other end of one of those. One-arm salute and trying to stay low-key. What a frustrating 48 hours it has been for Webber. Thrown away that time by Christie. Rajah Bell has come in the game to join Van Exel, Nash, Finley, and Nowitzki. The 5 on the floor for Dallas. The only guy going for the Mavs. He's carrying the team now, 4 of 5. He has 8. And it's back to a 1-point game. Christie inside. It's going the other way. Offensive foul called by 27-year veteran Hugh Hollins.
Well, we've seen a lot of offensive fouls so far in the game tonight. I think a lot of that is just because of the excitement. And Nowitzki, when he gets it going, that's all you can do. He's the only guy that's going to determine whether he makes or misses just because he's so long and it's easy for him to get a shot off.
Sacramento has 3 offensive fouls and 7 turnovers, offsetting their 50% shooting here in the first couple of minutes. The Mavs are 6 of 17 thus far, with much lower scoring first quarter than we've seen in the other games. Van Exel, so hot in Game 2, has opened 0 of 3 here in Game 3. Peja Stojakovic. His first field goal.
Yeah, Nick might even think once before shooting it next time. So believe me, 0 for 7 is not going to dissuade Nick.
A big 3 from Finley up top, as Michael's hamstring injury that stopped him at the end of the season is getting stronger. Bibby to the cup, counted on a foul. Rajah Bell picked it up.
Oh, he just crossed him over, and he's got a very good crossover. You see right there, into the middle. Rajah Bell, instead of sliding over, reaching, you're going to see Rajah Bell right there. Reach, you got to slide over and get your body in front and make Bibby give that ball up.
Bibby, who averaged 20 points per game in the playoffs last year, 16 a game in the regular season, a dozen in the playoffs thus far this year. Production off a little bit.
By nature, he's not a selfish player. He's going to try to get everybody involved, but he has to be selfish now that Chris Webber's out.
Nash 1 of 6, being outplayed by Bibby, who has 7 points. Turkoglu! I think Dallas seemed to step slow on the offensive end because it's half court. They're not getting anything full court.
Well, they're getting the ball to Nowitzki right now. They weren't the first 3 or 4 minutes. And when you're playing either of these two teams, defense, you got to keep your head up and know where everybody's cut. And right there, just lost track of Turkoglu. Great pass by Peja Stojakovic, and an easy 2.
Been a lot of half-court offense for the Mavs. Look at Nowitzki and Turkoglu battling for position there. And Mike Callahan says enough. Dirk is 4 of 5 from the field. The rest of the Mavs are 3 of 15, and this is an offensive foul. Rajah Bell's moving screen is his second.
I think we better have our quota filled already for offensive fouls, haven't we? My goodness. 5 offensive fouls so far, not even out of the first quarter.
5 of the 11 whistles called here in the first 9 minutes. Stojakovic 2-man game with Keon Clark. Steps back and launches. Finley around Stojakovic, met by Clark. 7 of 21. Turkoglu on the move, picked by Nowitzki.
That'll stop a fast break.
That's a good way. Nash and Finley are 2 of 11. Nowitzki's keeping Dallas in it offensively. But Peja Stojakovic in Sacramento hitting early, 9 of 14. They're on an 8-0 run. A great assist and a sweet deep 3 from Peja as the Kings are up 8. 3 minutes left, quarter 1 of Game 3 in Sacktown.
Rick Carlisle's team out-rebounded 48-30. They lose by 10. Your thoughts on that game?
Well, obviously, Philly had to have this game. They came out and dominated the backboard. But you have to more so talk about Detroit. They have to feel good about themselves. Chauncey Billups didn't play. They get this next game. They still control the series.
Meanwhile, you want to send it back to us?
Hey, Mike and Tommy T, back to you guys.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you, Greg. Greg trying to go it alone here. Must be very frustrated after a whole season with Kevin. We understand, buddy. 23-15, sack leading by 8. Nowitzki's handled most of it for the Mavs. They are, as a team, 33%. A far cry from the 77% they shot in quarter number 1 of game 2. Bobby Jackson back in. Cracked orbital bone. Inside is Jackson for 2.
And you might worry about some players being aggressive with that. Not this guy. He is a little Jack Russell Terrier. He'll get in there. He's going to battle. He's going to play his game. And his game is being physical for a guy at 6'1". And just managed to sneak inside for that last bucket. And he's a guy that's going to find his way to be inside. And you see him right there. 18 points for Nick Van Exel, leading the subs. Bobby Jackson at 14 points and was averaging 20 points a game when he was a starter earlier this year.
They had Finley on the mismatch covered by Bibby, but it was knocked away. The foul on Stojakovic doesn't cost anything. Christie the miss. Van Exel comes away with the rebound. What would you like to see Dallas do on this end? Well, that's a little bit of it, right?
You got to get going. I mean, they're a team that has to play on the edge a little bit. And shots like that, they're going to make some, they're going to miss some, but that's the way they have to play. They're not going to be a typical NBA team, set it up, do this. They can, but just on the edge, take some shots that other teams normally wouldn't take.
Look at Jackson go aggressively. Clark couldn't catch, did, got it, and a foul on Finley. Divac and Clark have been more effective already than they were in game 2.
Yeah, this is going to come off a nice Bobby Jackson penetration. A little trouble getting the ball, but once he gets it, throws it up there and gets a chance to go to the line. And I think with Dallas, with the jump shooting team, you may get stretches where you miss 4 or 5 jump shots in a row, and you may go through a stretch where you're not scoring. But yeah, once you get it going, get into the hoop, get into the free throw line, the points will start coming.
Clark makes the free throw. 8 of 11 down this postseason. Nash comes to sit with Avery Johnson, not on the playoff roster for Dallas. Rafe LaFrentz has come in to match Clark's size inside. Free up Nowitzki on the offensive end a little bit. And here is Finley inside. And Stojakovic presented himself defensively. It is 4-on-2 led by Bibby. Bounce to Christie. Swing it to Jackson for 2 more. A 15-3 Sacramento run.
And what was amazing about that break, all 4 guys that were down in that break could handle, could shoot it, could penetrate. That's when it's dangerous.
Finley trying to post Jackson. Van Exel gives it to him in a tough spot. Jackson being physical. Nowitzki over Stojakovic. Silencer.
He amazes me every time I watch that guy play.
Pacey tries to beat him on this end, though. Get it right back. Window for 2. Nowitzki has 11, Stojakovic 8, leading their respective teams. Sacramento shooting 68% from the field. A miss by Nowitzki. It's 5-on-4. LaFrentz behind the play. On the go, Christie. No, running in the middle. Quick, Nick, 2. Sacramento's doing what Dallas did after the makes. It's like over midcourt and 3 seconds on the clock. Yep. And they're shooting like they did in the last game. 72% from the field in the opening quarter. 15 of 21 for Sacramento. Shot clock off. And it's on their feet at Arco. Van Exel will take the 3. 71% from the field. Sacramento by 13 after 1. Exactly what these folks came to see in Game 3 of the best of 7. Sacramento having back-to-back home games. Back for quarter number 2 in the state capital of California. Arco Arena, Sacramento, with Michelle Tafoya and Tom Tolbert. Mike Tirico. Well, this man was busy today. Roger Clemens getting career victory 298 against the Oakland A's. What, the 85-mile drive up here to Sacramento to watch Game 3 in person. And a future Hall of Famer and a Hall of Famer, Reginald Martinez Jackson. Reggie Jackson with the Maloofs, Gavin and Joe, having them as guests here for Game 3. Rick Adelman's team closed the quarter in stylish fashion, Tom Tolbert.
Still one of my, I still got one of my favorite memories. You got me on the wrong track.
That's okay.
Bob Welch, Reggie Jackson. Back at age like 78, 79, and Reggie hitting the home runs. But it's a, it's a pace that Dallas likes right now. They're just missing shots. I mean, they're just missing shots. There's really not much you can say. I mean, this is the way they play, and you go through stretches when you're a jump shooting team.
Jimmy Jackson in the game. Finley rises up to connect over him, and it's 36.
Like most people, you would say, if they miss that shot on most teams, you say bad shot. That's how they live on the edge. They live taking those type of jump shots. Just got to do a better job in transition defense and covering up the bucket.
Nice defensive job on the pick and roll by Nowitzki. Christie unable to convert. Keon Clark inside keeps the possession alive. Bobby Jackson shoots three. And Finley goes up to get it. Rajabel, Rafe LaFrance, Nick Van Exel, Nowitzki and Finley. There's two starters out here right now for Don Nelson.
One thing Dallas misses with Eduardo Nájera on the bench is his defensive rebounding and his toughness. They don't have that without him. Somebody's got to step up and help on the boards.
Jackson right in Van Exel's face. Only two to shoot. He'll shoot. Don't worry. He got it off. And Jackson the rebound. Very good suffocating in your shorts defense on that trip from Sacramento. They are not going to give Nick free looks here tonight.
Well, Peja Stojakovic just waved him off. Nowitzki's going to be collared with the foul, but Keon Clark was coming over to set a pick and roll, and Peja Stojakovic said no. It was Mike Bibby taking care of his hygiene. He just waves him off because he thinks he can take Dirk Nowitzki one-on-one. He doesn't want the clutter or the confusion. Didn't take him, but he got the foul.
That's nice. Some people call screens, pick and rolls, good fundamental basketball. To a score, clutter and confusion.
Just get out of my way. Let me be.
Christie up top. Well, his shooting has been just plain off. He's trying to get it back. Out of bounds. It will stay with Sacramento. Tomorrow, NBA playoff action continues with 3 games. We're going to have Game 3 of the Lakers in San Antonio. Game 4, excuse me, of the Lakers San Antonio. Our coverage will begin with shoot around at 3 Eastern, tip time around 3:30. Lakers trying to even the best of 7. Jim Jackson the miss, Nowitzki the rebound, and to echo everyone else, our best wishes to Phil Jackson for as speedy recovery as possible and full recovery. Finley with the foul. The angioplasty for Phil Jackson earlier today, spending the night for observation in a Los Angeles hospital.
And it'll be interesting to see how game time decisions change if Phil's not able to be there in Game 4 for the Lakers. It's not so much you change the system. You know the triangle. Everybody knows the system. But you know when your head coach tells you something, you take it as gospel. It's like, okay, let's do it. Not to say you wouldn't do that with an assistant, but maybe you say to yourself, well, is this what Phil would be doing? Should we be doing this? So maybe, mentally a little bit tougher, but they've won 3 championships. Shaq and Kobe, they'll be fine.
1 of 2 on the first free throw attempts of the night for Dallas. Free throws have been extraordinarily lopsided in this series. Very little to do with officiating, more with style of play. Huge Sacramento edge. Foul inside on the Mavs, and here's Michelle.
You guys were talking about Phil Jackson, and certainly Don Nelson was asked about it before the game. And if you notice his tie, guys, it's purple, Laker purple, not King purple. He said he wore it in honor of Phil Jackson.
Classy from Nelly. Jimmy Jackson watched by Finley. Stojakovic in rhythm. That is the sweetest looking shot. Both he and Dirk are 1 and 1A, but when they get it with their feet set, fun to watch. The reply from LaFrance is off, and Bobby Jackson goes up and gets the ball.
Well, I guess the question is, what are you doing giving Stojakovic room to breathe, room to sniff? You can't rotate off him. You got to be up in his shorts and not let him get that shot off, because just a crack of daylight, he can do it.
Bobby Jackson lost LaFrance. The open man is Jimmy Jackson. For 3. Sacramento has tripled 3 times, shooting 63%. Leading by 16, Nowitzki goes to the goal. 13 for Dirk.
Are you kidding me? Spin up, hang, double clutch, and still get it to go?
Jimmy Jackson set the screen. Stojakovic. Man, Peja 5 of 7 from the field. 2 of them three-pointers. Both he and Nowitzki matched with a baker's dozen.
And now you know why he was waving off Keon Clark in the pick and roll.
Van Exel tries the quick hit. Draws it all to leave Finley free. So a much better shooting quarter here for the Mavs thus far.
Nice pass.
From Bibby to Stojakovic, it will be goaltending on the French. And it's unfortunate because that wasn't going in.
Well, that's one of those ones you just want to be aggressive, and you're like, no, got it. Nick Van Exel and Joey Crawford having a few words. You don't want to get Joey mad at you early in the game. That never pays dividends later on in the game.
46-31, a 15-point lead. For Shaq, French to the goal. It's a 2. Sacramento, it's 2 possessions in a row. They've been over the midcourt line 1 second into the shot clock. It's just...
Well, they're not waiting for anybody. Boy, somebody better come help him.
Jim Jackson over Van Exel using the size advantage.
He's so thick. I mean, Jimmy Jackson's a thick guy. Man, Nick Van Exel is going to have trouble if they want to man-on-man him on the low block.
Nash took the bump. He made it easily.
More release points than any player in the league, I think. Just left-handed, right-handed, fading away, leaning in, sideways.
Keon Clark tried to make a move on LaFrance, turned it over. Dirty and nasty on the 2-on-1. Dirk can't finish. Good hustle back by Jackson. It's 4-on-3. Bobby Jackson had it knocked away by Van Exel. Christie sees an opening baseline. LaFrance swapped it away, but a foul is called.
Well, you got to be able to cut that off. Use the baseline as your friend.
Stojakovic leading all scorers with 15. 6 of 8 from the field. Sacramento shooting 67%.
ESPN's presentation on the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Circuit City, we're with you, and GMC, we are professional grade.
Back at Arco Arena in Sacramento, Peja Stojakovic is stepping up as needed with the absence of Chris Webber. Sacramento leading 48-35, game 3 of the best-of-7 series, all square at 1.
Well, he's just a guy you have to make work to get his buckets. Nobody did that better than Rick Fox a few years ago in the playoffs. And some of these are just going to be tough shots. Right here, Dirk flies by him, fadeaway jump shot failing his face. You'll live with that. You won't live with this. You can't give him that kind of room. When the ball's rotated, you have to be up on already. Another situation right there, you live with that one. If he's going to make that type of shot, maybe towards the end of the game or maybe later on in the game, you send somebody over at him. In fact, that's about the only surefire way to stop him right there. Have him with a warm-up on.
Scott Pollard patting him on the back. Jackson and Bibby are going to be the backcourt with Christie, Jimmy Jackson, and Keon Clark as Christie comes to the line.
Just to let you know, we're about to bust 50. 7-18. Look at that right there. 13 and then just exploded for 36. And we can get too comfortable with a 15-point lead because the exchange rate when these two teams play is about a 6.5-point lead right now.
6.5 is the exchange. Okay.
Yes.
2.5 for one. LaFrance, that's 2. He misses. Nash's hustle keeps this possession alive. All 4 of the big scorers on the floor for Dallas. Nowitzki knocked down, missed the 3. Possession kept alive for the second time by Nash. Can't give them too many chances, can you?
There's Steve Nash in there. Moses Malone scrapping up on the offensive boards. Wow.
Yeah. Took a couple there. Christie, it's 2.
He's not only missing, his scope's up. He's not even close on those outside jump shots.
Van Exel missed the 3. Nowitzki the offensive board. LaFrance on the glass. This is 4 offensive boards this trip for Dallas. These 2 trips, excuse me. That was after they were being out-rebounded by 9 by the Kings during the last timeout.
Well, you don't think of Peja Stojakovic much as a rebounder, but he's 6'10". And you look at the team they have there out on the court. Keon Clark, 6'11", but frail. Bibby, Jackson, and Christie. Everyone's got to be accountable. Everybody's got to lock on a man and get a rebound.
Nash from the top for 3 more. So Dallas getting back in it with its outside shooting. 6 of 14 from 3. And since Peja has sat, Dallas has chipped 4 off the lead. Keon Clark is talking to Raef LaFrentz as he's making his move. The former Mav Jackson turns it over. Van Exel has Nash. He also has the ability to take it himself.
And just like that.
Nice exchange rate call. The lead is 7.
Well, it seemed to they have lost their way a little bit in the half-court offense. Peja was going so well there, just getting to him and let him create. Now who do you go to?
Clark comes across.
Holy mackerel.
I think Raef was ready for that delivery. And turned over, pushed too hard. So an 8-0 run for Dallas was stopped by Clark and the turnover by the Mavs. John Nelson's team climbing a little bit closer within 9.
Well, these Kings fans understand it. If you really want to know how to watch this game, you do it on high def. ESPN's High Definition, our new definition service made possible with the help of Philips and Best Buy. And for more information, you can contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. Available on ESPN HD. These fans seem to like it, and it certainly brings out the Carol Merrill in me, Mike.
You know what, Michelle? Carol Merrill is nothing on you. I'll tell you that right now. We'll take Michelle any day of the week. Michelle should get an HD TV for that, for having to do that.
Absolutely.
Great chance to watch the game in HD. It's certainly a different look, a terrific look for sports. You'll be seeing plenty more on ESPN HD. All of our Sunday night baseball games as well are in high definition, available on ESPN HD. Sacramento brings Divac and Stojakovic back in the game after the Dallas run, and those two convert right there. Nice out of the timeout with the 2 newly inserted players, sack plus 11.
And 2 good passes. A pass to set up a pass.
Nowitzki, eyes wide open because of the switch as they ran that pick and roll multiple times to get the mismatch. Stojakovic will try to post on Finley.
Well, that's a little different matchup for him right there. Not as long as Nowitzki, but more athletic.
Tough shot. Good job by Finley defensively there. All 4 of the scorers who scored over 100 points combined in that record-setting game 2. Van Exel misfired, and Jimmy Jackson will get it on the run. Nice job to go behind the back. Bibby back to Jax. A lot of contact. Lay on. There's Mike Callahan.
Well, I'm surprised. He slided on somebody like that. That's dangerous. That should have been a foul.
Finley missed. Nowitzki did not. The 7-foot German now has 15 points on the night. Nowitzki 6 of 12 from the field and 7 rebounds.
Dallas doing a great job of scrapping for rebounds, too. Getting all the loose balls down there. Nash got a couple, and Nowitzki with that one. My goodness.
Maybe spun and turned to look for the official. Meantime, Nash leaking on the other end.
The 1-on-4 fast break.
As only Nelly could do it, right? Only a Nelly team could love that. Divac's posting on LaFrentz. While he climbs across the lane. Shockingly taken to the deck. LaFrentz trips over him. Words are exchanged between the two.
It is so frustrating.
And Joey Crawford said enough. I think we're going to have double text here. A double technical foul has been called. I truly think that was accidental.
But it's just frustrating playing against him. I mean, it frustrates you. Because just a little touch, and he's up here, he's over there. And that's the way he's been his whole career. He looks hard to guard.
That's great. I want you annoyed.
Certainly.
Yeah.
It's like talking smack without talking smack. He does it with his body language. And you just watch right here. He's going to dig in, and he's going to whoo-ah.
And
And then he kept the leg up, and he kicked him there. And they said, 2 free passes to 2 now 21. I'll take care of you. Vladdy's new restaurant here in Sacramento.
Did not have to go there. So one more at the line for Divac. First miss in 4 tries. 55-47, 3.5. So Kevin and Greg in the studio. Enjoyed Michael Olacandy's visit earlier tonight. LaFrance. Rafe has not had his shot going, but he chased it down. Couldn't squeeze it. Jackson on the move. They can't stop him. To Bibby. Been a very good offensive half for Mike Bibby. He has 11. Knew he had to step up his offense here this evening. On Bibby.
You gotta love Nash that last play. He didn't shoot it, but down underneath the bucket. I mean, when I'm watching Steve Nash and he's handling the ball and going all over the place, I just want to sit here and go, whoop, 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 whoop. Because that's what he is. Like the Stooges out there. He's just making you go in circles, take it dizzy, then he goes by you. One leg, wrong foot runner. Good.
There you go, right back to him here. 57-47 at the 3-minute mark. Nash-Bibby head-to-head has been enjoyable thus far.
And you got to have somebody rotate over to the pick and pop because he can shoot.
Well, French missed it. Finley, another offensive rebound. Dallas has been great on the offensive glass this quarter. 7 for the game. Finley for 3.
The thing about the offensive rebounds, when they're getting them, they're cashing in on the second or third attempt. And they're coming away with triples, layups, and that's what hurts you.
Offensive boards and second chance points have swung in this quarter. Here's the Sacramento fans rising for Divac against LaFrance. No foul, no hoop. Dallas can make it 5 or 4. Mavs trailed by 16 at one point. They have not led tonight. Nowitzki dives to the floor first and got the ball. Got back in the play. And we'll get a couple of free throws out of it. Dirk Nowitzki has been everywhere here in this first half. 13 points and 9 boards. He may have a double-double before we get to halftime. Both teams may be at 60 before we get to halftime. Again.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tell it over a great-tasting, less-filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Almost time for the ATT halftime report, and coming up we'll have a report from LA on Phil Jackson's condition and update for you, and we'll also have highlights from game 1 of our double dip. Pistons, Sixers, and Greg Anthony. It was close early,
yeah, but Philadelphia came out with a lot of energy. Kenny Thomas played big for them, scoring and rebounding. But this is a total team effort for the 76ers, which they haven't had this series thus far.
Want to toss it back?
Back to you guys.
You got it, Greg. Game 4 of that series will be tomorrow on TNT. Meantime here, Sacramento leading Dallas by 7. This series will have game 4 on TNT as well tomorrow. It'll be the first time the Sacramento Kings have played back-to-back. Dallas is in a good shooting rhythm. They don't care about playing back-to-back. Just stay in the flow. So a great three-point shooting from the Mavs.
Well, they do it in many ways. They do it off the pick and roll. They do it off the break. They're all guys out there that are capable of drawing and kicking the defense. You have double down on them, and they all get it off quickly, too. You get it out, they got their feet set. They're going to shoot it. And even if you have them covered, as Finley showed you, they can rise up over you and still drain a triple.
Nowitzki coming to the free throw line for 2 as we get started after the timeout. Only the 3rd free throw attempted by the Mavericks tonight. They are 1 of 2 at the line. And thus far, free throw attempts in the series, if you include tonight, Sacramento has 76 attempts. Dallas just 39.
But not a team that gets to the line a whole lot. I mean, with the jump shooting team, unless you get fouled on the jump shot, you're going to stay out there and not get on the line. So that disparity doesn't mean they're officiating one way or the other. It just means that's the style they play.
To further illustrate that, there's only a 4 foul difference in fouls called in this series, one team or the other. So it certainly is where the fouls are being committed, style of play. Jackson off the window. Makes it 59-52 inside of 2 minutes. A Adrian Griffin back in the game to join LaFrentz, Nowitzki, Nick Van Exel, and Steve Nack.
Adrian Griffin may be the only guy in the court right now that wouldn't have fired that shot. And did.
LaFrentz lost Bibby with that little bump there, and Van Exel hits another three. Oh, Nick is just 4 of 11 here tonight. 10 points, a couple of triples. And as a team, the Mavs continue to shoot well from behind the arc. It's kept them in it here in the first half. Vlade Divac.
Oh, he's still a guy you get him at point-blank range. Oh, he's just gone over 60, by the way. Point-blank range, he can make that little jump hook.
Excellent. Well, this thing is tightened really positively for Dallas, though. They're within 4 with a minute to go till halftime. Contact with Griffin and Christie. No foul, but out of bounds. All right, we mentioned tomorrow we'll have Spurs and Lakers. Our coverage begins at 3 Eastern on ABC. Here's the TNT doubleheader. Detroit-Philly. That's now 2-1 Detroit. Game 4 of this series. And New Jersey and Boston will be on TNT Monday at 8 as Byron Scott's Nets go for the clincher. And how impressive were they last night? Foul on Griffin. No shot.
That's just a sweet pass. And Vlade has shown you that he can play down the low post with the rolling hook. The high post, just being able to drop the bounce passes right on the money. Forces Griffin to hold so Stojakovic can't get the layup. Although with him at the free throw line, generally speaking, these are like layups.
More coming for Stojakovic.
I was never a very good layup shooter, to be honest with you.
Top 12 shooter in the league from the line this year at 87%. You see his numbers on the evening. Now 20 of 7 of 32. 27 of 32, he said, from the line. They will get both teams to 60 here at the half. Dallas is going to have 20 fewer points at the half than they did the last game and still be close to 60.
Oh, that's an odd matchup right here. You get all the offensive firepower. You're isolating Adrian Griffin.
Put one up and in over Divac.
Not exactly the easiest shot either.
Oh, and a violation call on the inbounds by Joey Crawford. Sacramento never had the ball fully out of bounds. Dallas will have a chance to tie here with 35.1 to go. Gentlemen in disbelief. It's been a tough stretch here for Rick. Losing Chris Webber, and Rick's 3 daughters came in from out of town for the game here today and were in a car accident. Fortunately, everyone is doing okay. And Rick wanted to make sure that we sent our best to everyone. His daughter Kathy, wife Mary Kay, and Laura and Caitlin, the other 2 daughters. Everybody's doing okay, Rick told us. So he's thinking of them. We wanted to send them our best as well. This is for the tie. It is a Van Exel 3. And from down 16, Dallas has squared the game at 62. And Nick is fired up. He's talking to Joe Maloof, the owner of the Kings here. 5 seconds the difference. Game and shot clock coming down at the end of the half. 4 to shoot for Jackson in the lane. Nice. Hang in the air as LaFrentz was there defensively. 8 points, 4, 6 boards for Bobby Jackson with a broken bone in his face. LaFrentz to beat the clock. Off the mark. Nowitzki can't keep it alive. It's no basket. And we have reached halftime. Well, the Dallas Big Four, who combined for 103 points in Game 2, have come up with 54 here in the first half of Game 3. So they are on pace once again. 54 of the Dallas 62. The ball did go in with 0-0, thus a mandatory review, but clearly it was in the hands of Nowitzki before the lights came up. Here's Michelle with Mike Bibby.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. Mike, you said coming into this game you were going to be more aggressive both offensively and defensively. They're trying to match your intensity. What do you like about your team's performance so far?
You know, we played good in the first quarter. I think we slipped off a little bit in the second. Started getting them easy shots, easy looks at threes again. And, I wasn't as aggressive as I was in the second quarter as I was in the first. So I'm going to come out and try to get started like I did in the first quarter, see where it goes from there.
When you guys talk about being aggressive, which has been a big word for this team in the last 24, 48 hours, from possession to possession, what do you want to see specifically that makes you more aggressive?
Just push the ball a little bit more, try to get easier baskets. Sometimes they come to half court, we have to work too hard for baskets, so we want to push the ball and transition and get layups.
You guys are finally seeing C. Webb for the first time since you got the news. He's sitting there on the bench. What does that do to all of you?
It means that we're going to win it for him. We're going to keep playing for him. We know it hurts him that he can't play, and we're going to do the best we can for him.
Mike, thanks for stopping.
Thanks.
Back to you guys.
Okay, Michelle, Mike Bibby, 11 points, 2 assists in that opening half. The AT&T halftime report with Kevin Frazier and Greg Anthony is coming up. 16-point Sacramento lead was erased. Why? Dallas went 6 from 10 behind the arc of the second quarter. Dallas has 9 offensive rebounds to Sacramento's 1 and 11-0 on the second chance points. But Mike Bibby, who was in a slump shooting 5 of 15 and a total of 16 points in the first 2 games, came out as the aggressor on both the offensive and defensive end, set a tone for an early Sacramento lead that has dwindled away to just 2 at the break. Stand by for Kevin and Greg. Scores, highlights, and more, and news from Los Angeles next.
Welcome to the AT&T Halftime Report.
Hot first half for Peja Stojakovic as he dropped 16 points, but all of a sudden, it's Roro time. Dallas has snuck back into this game. Welcome to the AT&T Halftime Report. Kevin Frazier. As always, I am joined by Greg Anthony. And during the first quarter, I looked at Greg and I said, boy, Dallas just bugs me because they won't go to the basket. And Greg said, watch how quick they can come back shooting those jumpers. And lo and behold, they're right back in it.
Well, they did. I mean, the difference in this game was the fact that Dallas came with so much more energy in that second quarter. They got 15 more field goal attempts than does Sacramento. And that's really been the difference why they were able to get back in the game. I think Sacramento's got to do a better job of running Dallas off those three-pointers. They have a tendency to not want to penetrate and take it to the rim. They want to shoot jump shots, which they do very well when they're uncontested. Sac's got to do a better job defense transition.
Boy, it's a new ball game going into the second half, and it's anybody's ball game. Meanwhile, game 1 of our doubleheader, it was on the east side. Sixers and Pistons, a must-win game for Philly, back in Philly. And Allen Iverson came ready to play. AI gets into it early, the easy jump, but he's 9 of 23 from the floor. One of the big stories, Kenny Thomas, a double-double in the first half, Greg.
He's the one guy we really haven't talked about all series, and he's probably been the most consistent player outside of Allen Iverson for Philadelphia. Again, he was huge in the first half, made all the plays his team needed from an energy standpoint, but more importantly, they also got some production from Keith Van Horn.
Well, and that is the next man up. 14 boards, though, for Kenny Thomas in this game. Van Horn, though, you said he was the key.
Well, he has to play well. This is your number 2 scorer. He's a guy that you have depended on all season. He has to continue to play well for you if you want to have a chance to win this series.
17 points for Van Horn. AI, 25 points on an off night. He's still important for the Sixers.
You got a great player who commands double teams that I think affects Wallace a little bit, because they are helping a lot, and it leaves people open.
If this was a big game, tomorrow is a bigger game. We're down right now. We don't want to go back to Detroit being down 3-1.
They did on Ben Wallace.
Well, I'll tell you something. Ben Wallace, very quiet in this game. In 48-30, the edge in rebounding for Philly. Kenny Thomas looked like the man, 11 rebounds in the first half.
Well, he played well, but what happens when you're Ben Wallace, if you're not getting the help on the backboard from your other players, they can take you away, and that's what Philly did. They basically would send 2 and 3 bodies at Ben Wallace to just make sure he was not the guy that was going to get the rebound, and Detroit had no one else going for those backboards. And again, that's what allows Philly to get out and transition, get other guys involved, and get them going offensively.
Playoff road woes continue for Detroit. They have now lost 13 of their last 14 road playoff games, which means good news if you're a Sixers fan. Meanwhile, if you're a Sacramento fan, boy, it looked great early, didn't it? When Doug Christie dunked that ball, Arco Arena rocking. All of a sudden, Dallas is back, and it's a 2-point ball game.
This halftime report is presented by the world's networking company, AT&T. Welcome back to the AT&T Halftime Report.
Kevin Frazier, Greg Anthony in Playoff Central. Significant news in the Lakers-Spurs series. Phil Jackson had angioplasty surgery this morning. He is resting comfortably, but it's in question whether he will be around for Game 4 in that series. David Aldridge is in Los Angeles and has more.
The Los Angeles Lakers won on Friday night to close within 2-1 in their best-of-7 conference semifinal with the Spurs, but obviously the big news, Phil Jackson undergoing a procedure on Saturday morning to open up his artery, which was 90% blocked. His status for Sunday's game is uncertain. We have Jim Clemens here, who will be the acting coach if Phil can't go tomorrow. Clem, what is the mood of the team after getting that kind of news?
Well, we all have coach in our prayers and thoughts, and hopefully he'll be able to attend the game and be successful with us. But the fact remains right now it's an unknown. We'll find out tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, whether he'll be able to attend the game or not.
How hard was it for him to get through Game 3?
Well, you know, coming in and prior to, he said he wasn't feeling well. In fact, yesterday he kind of joked that he might have to rub his heart to keep his breath going. And but he didn't make any overt overtures I'm aware of. We just felt that he wasn't his usual self on the bench, and with good reason. So the fact remains is that hopefully that this will be successful, was successful, and will happen tomorrow.
If he can't go tomorrow, you know, you guys know what you have to do against the Spurs. I don't think that changes. But is there anything just on the bench psychically that the team will miss if Phil's not there?
Well, like I tried to tell the people during the news conference is that, you know, the best person that knows his team is the head coach. You know, assistant coaches, we're around, you know, day to day doing what we do. But it's the head coach's team, and he feels the reins. He knows his horses. He knows the strategy that he wants to bring forth at particular times. And anyone other than that is merely guessing and speculating. And the one thing that you have to do is, once again, we have a system. The system is in place. We'll let the system run itself. And if I have to do it, if I can manage timeouts, manage matchups, that's the best that I can do. Hopefully we'll knock down some shots and play some good, solid defense.
Jim, good luck to you tomorrow. Phil Jackson will undergo additional tests on Sunday morning to determine if he can be around for Game 4. Back to you.
David, thanks a lot. Our thoughts and prayers definitely with Phil, and Jim Clemens, very capable. He can take care of business. Meanwhile, forgotten in this is the fact that the Lakers really put it on the San Antonio Spurs in Game 3.
You know, they really did, and one of the things that they did is they made some offensive adjustments. Phil Jackson had Shaquille O'Neal play more of the high post, which opens up the floor and the spacing. Whenever you're pressuring a lot, as San Antonio is, you're very susceptible to the back doors, and Shaquille O'Neal got 8 assists in that game, a lot of them back doors for Ori and also Kobe Bryant for dunks and layups, and I think that really got them going offensively.
Lakers creep back in the series, get their first win this season against the Spurs. Now, Game 4. Tomorrow, coverage begins with NBA shoot-around. It is Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinal. Spurs-Lakers, 3 o'clock Eastern. Make sure that you take care of the mothers first. On ABC, though, is the game. Nick Van Exel has been insane. 51 points in the last 3 quarters. He's the reason that the Mavericks are back in this game.
This halftime report is presented by the world's networking company, AT&T.
The NBA playoffs continue at Arco Arena in Sacramento. It is Game 3 of the best of 7, a 2-point Sacramento lead, 64-62. Sacramento a blazing 63% from the field. Dallas staying in at Tom with those next 3 lines. 50% from 3. Sorry, bud. Their offensive board's 9-1.
How about shooting 45% and throwing up 62 points? That's amazing. How do you do that? Well, you get a lot more shots than the other team. How do you do that? You get offensive rebounds. And this is not a great offensive rebounding team. They just been scrapping. Steve Nash in there getting offensive rebounds. The offensive rebound doesn't kill you. But what happens after the offensive rebound does? And they've been scoring. 3-point shooting. Are you kidding me? 17 last game. 9 at the quarter this game. It's absolutely incredible. And how the Kings been getting their buckets, getting out in the open court. And when they get out in the open court, they get great spacing. Like right here. Freeze it! Look at the spacing right there. All these guys way away from Mike Bibby. Let her run. Christie over to Bobby Jackson. All the guys capable of shooting it and penetrating it. And yes, Mr. Vitale, my check is on the way.
Yeah. The other bald guy's better at freezing. I'm sorry. Here's Michelle Tafoya to talk about what they were talking about at halftime.
Well, I spoke to Don Nelson coming out of the halftime, guys, and he said his biggest concern about the second half was indeed penetration. 26-12, they were outscored in the paint. But what he liked about the run to close out the first half was his Rafe LaFrentz, Dirk Nowitzki lineup. He said it was a little bit bigger and they were more active. But keeping them out of the paint is crucial in the second half, guys.
All right, Michelle, the paint points, I should say, controlled by Sac in that game, in that first half, 26-12.
And a lot of those are from fast breaks. It's not just because you're dominating inside, because you're getting out and scoring easy buckets.
Nash at 3, and Dallas leads for the first time tonight, 65-64. So the Mavs, who trailed by as many as 16, have roared back in this one, outscoring Sacramento 37-20 over the last 10 minutes.
Well, if you're going to make close to 20 threes, it's going to be hard to beat you.
Turkoglu missed it, got it back. Hedo in the starting lineup in place of Chris Webber. Much talk if it was going to be Keon Clark or Turkoglu. Out of bounds, off. It is correct. Okay, it's off Dallas. Disbelieving face there from Stojakovic for a second. Look at that unbelievable three-point shooting from Dallas as Turkoglu tried to match it there, but misfired on a triple. Eduardo Nahara, Adrian Griffin, Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, and Michael Finley. Over Stojakovic, Nowitzki. With the help coming, too, from Christie.
Well, if you're going to come, you better come earlier than that. Because once he rises up, it doesn't matter how many people you send over at him, he's going to have a good look.
Stojakovic tried that little curl inside, couldn't get position on Griffin. Divac now comes to the paint. Christie dribbles through the pick and roll, and Divac ends up picking up the foul.
So you're talking about a guy that can score like him. You got to come right now. You got to go. You can't wait. Once he gets that second dribble, you have to head on over there and make sure he doesn't get that easy turn. Because there's no use even coming over. Once he turns and squares, it's a done deal.
59 for the Big Four as they came up with 103 in that record-setting game 2. Divac has missed his last 2 attempts at the line. He's 3 of 5, and the Sacramento crowd getting a little antsy as Dallas has scored the first 5 of quarter 3. Sacramento put up 36 in the first. Dallas put up 39 in the second. And we're at 67-65. First 90 seconds of quarter 3. Game 3, remember, they play back-to-back. Game 4 is right here in Arco tomorrow night. Start time just an hour later. 7:30 Pacific. Nowitzki for 3. Good job by Stojakovic, sealing in the lane to get the rebound. Mike Bibby's offensive aggression was pretty solid in that first quarter. Stojakovic shoots a triple. I love it when the net doesn't move. Brad and Bill were talking about that on Thursday. He's 3 of 4 from behind the arc.
I'm sorry. How does he get that wide open? How does he get that wide open? That's one guy you grab and you stay and you let everybody rotate around you. You say, I'm not going anywhere, pal.
Adrian Griffin. 2 for Adrian Griffin. And Dallas retakes the lead. So Griffin has a half dozen here in this game. Griffin and LaFrentz, as a matter of fact, the only 2 non-Big Four guys to score. Good show. Over Nowitzki at 3 for Stojakovic.
That when you tip the do-rag, you say nice shot.
You tip the do-rag? Sorry, Tom. I don't do that. Bibby picked up that foul.
This one right here, it's just a bad job. I mean, everybody, look at that. Hey, come on. In case you haven't noticed, this guy won a couple three-point shooting contests. Now this one right here, you just say, hey, man, nice shot. Wow. And head back towards the other end of the court.
7-footer flying at you.
As the Rock Band helmet would say, hey, man, nice shot.
Finley responds with a 3. How about what Dallas is doing? 11 of 21 shooting the 3 here tonight after their great Game 2 shooting performance, 17 of 32. They recover to Christie. His 2 is off the mark. Divac ripped it away from his own teammate. And cutting back to the goal. The foul is drawn as Turkoglu was aggressive.
Well, you can't, even though they're hitting the threes right now, you can't just keep firing out at those guys shooting the threes. You'd like to get hands up in their face, but as soon as you go running helter-skelter all over the place, that opens up driving lanes, drawn kicks, and stuff like that. You just have to think, okay, percentages are going to dictate. They can't go another 11 for 21 the rest of this game. And the Kings not doing a very good job on the free throw line in the second half.
Before we get lost in this game, which looks like it'll stay close, is this championship basketball?
Yeah, I believe it is. I really do. I mean, you have to be able to get stops at certain points of the game. Lakers played like this, and Lakers went a three-point shooting team, but they used to fire up and down the court as well as anybody. But
the league was more like that.
Sure. No, I believe you can, Mike. I really do. I mean, you still have to play some semblance of defense, and at the end of the game, you've got to be able to get 4 or 5 stops in a row. But you can play like this and win a championship.
4 to shoot. Finley in the air to Eduardo Nahara. Dumped down to Finley, was raked away by Stojakovic. Do some fancy dribbling to get out of traffic. Nahara couldn't keep that alive. Great hustle, though, as he dives by the sideline. It's fun. It's fun to watch.
Well, I think, you know what, I really believe that it would help the league if a team like one of these two won an NBA championship. More guys who could handle, could shoot, you could say, hey, that's a way you can play and still win a championship.
Stojakovic causes the contact and gets fouled, in part with so many international players coming to the league. And as someone was quoted, so defense is not the first priority overseas playing basketball.
Really?
And that influx in the free-flowing game, we have a 7-footer like Nowitzki, Stojakovic at his size, 6'10", from Serbia, able to play in this free-flowing game. And now you get guys who are playing the 3 and the 4 doing that. Makes it more offensive. This is a playoff series record. 8 international-born players in this series, more than any playoff series in NBA history.
Well, I don't know how you say your free throw shooting stinks in Serbia, but right now, in the second half, boy, you know things are going wrong when he misses 2 free throws.
They're 2 of 6 from the line. Stojakovic nearly a 90% shooter. Missing both there. Tied at 72. Our second tie of the night. And he gets it right back. Dribbles through 4. Tees up Bibby. That's goaltending. Raja Bell showing great athleticism to get up. But it still counts.
That was pretty cool, though. That was goaltending, but to be able to get up and pick that thing right out of the cylinder, you know, watch Bibby go up. Whoop.
Nice. Nowitzki had that pass bounce off his shoulder, gets it back, plays the 2-man game with his buddy Steve Nash. Three to shoot. It's going to be Nowitzki. Nice fake to the left.
That's a joke. That's a guy. That's textbook defense. That is right in your face, and to be able to rise up and do that.
Vlade was looking for that quick pass, but nobody was there. Now Turkoglu re-tees Divac. Here comes the 13-year veteran. And the Mavs will have a chance for our 6th lead change of the night.
Nice defense by Nahara. Oh, what do you know? A 3.
From up top by Finley, he missed it, and Turkoglu comes away with the board. First Turkish-born player in the NBA. And the foul is on Nahara. The second Mexican-born player in league history. Ray Wallace is the other one. San Antonio and the Lakers, Game 4. Our coverage begins with shoot-around at 3 Eastern from Staples. 3:30 Eastern tip time. TNT will have Detroit-Philly Game 4 and Game 4 of this series, and then New Jersey and Boston on Monday will once again be on TNT.
Ouch.
Christie to the net. 4 on Steve Nash. That's a big foul. So with 6:40 left, all square at 74. One of the best point guards in the business picks up his 4th.
Watch him cutting right here. And that's a tough one. Steve Nash just got corkscrewed right there. Turned around. Christie ran into him. Looks like he might have got shoved a little bit. It went down. I think that's what he's telling. He goes, hey, come on now. You can't receive the ball and get a foul call on you.
One from Christie. Nelly going to leave Nash in here with 4 fouls?
Sure looks like it.
Del Harris is talking to Nelly about it right now.
Well, I think Nelly told him he had 4 fouls. He got the kite in his ears and he can't hear him. Why didn't you tell me? I did tell you.
Donnie is suddenly in the hands of a clear. It's 4. I want you to know. He does have Van Exel in there. Now LaFrentz is going to come off the bench, and he might get Nash and let Van Exel play the point for the balance of the quarter. Raja Bell for a 2. Off the mark. Every King imaginable, except the biggest guy. Divac was there for the rebound. Vlade's on the other end waiting. Stojakovic missed. Divac couldn't get the offensive board, but Van Exel touched it last.
It's Kings basketball, the big guy leaking out. All the little guys down there scrapping for the rebound, and Vlade's like, what took you guys so long?
LaFrentz does come in for Nash, so he sits with 4. Stojakovic loses Finley easily. He hit another 3. For 6 from downtown on their feet at Arco. Bell, another shot. Another miss. They lost a little bit of their enthusiasm as Dallas erased a 16-point lead early in this quarter, but he's brought them back. Stojakovic has hit his last 3 threes, 5 of 6 from behind the arc. Peja has 9 in this quarter, 25 for the game. After 26 and 24 in the first 2 games, continuing to lead this Sacramento team without its leader, Chris Webber, tonight.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling. And Miller Genuine Draft. Filter out what you don't need. Keep what's good. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
Sacramento surge. The Kings lead by 5. There's Paul Silas in the building. Michelle Tafoya tells us why.
Yeah, well, Mike, at Don Nelson's invitation, he has joined the team, and Don Nelson said he tracked him down for 2 days after he was fired to get him to join the Mavericks on this adventure.
I thought he did the best coaching job in basketball last year, and I voted for him for Coach of the Year. And he gets fired because they lose in the playoff game. He had more injuries than anybody in basketball, kept that franchise afloat. And I just invited him to, hey, chill out, let's have a few cold beers together, and let's talk basketball. I can learn from you, and maybe you can learn something from me, and let's just enjoy.
You know, they are very close friends, won a championship together with the Boston Celtics, and obviously Don Nelson feels very strongly about Paul Silas. He told me, though, Mike, this has nothing to do with a future coaching job for Silas in the Mavericks organization. Back to you.
Yeah, he's very kind in his words towards Paul Silas, and to reemphasize your last point, Michelle, it's not the first time Nelly has done it. When George Karl was fired, Mike Schuler, Nelly invited him because he knows what it's like to be through that. Christie beats the clock, and a much-needed outside field goal for Doug. Gets sacked back on top by 7.
Well, that's a pastime for Nelly, talking basketball and drinking beer. Just hanging out.
Watch some film. Yep. There's so many good minds around this Dallas team. They've got more assistant coaches than half the league, it seems, but so many good basketball people that Mark Cuban has put around this organization. They're going the other way. Nope. That'll be a blocking foul on Bibby. It's 4 for Mike. It is. So both point guards, Bibby and Nash, have 4. 2 team fouls of the Kings. Mavs over the limit here in the third as Bibby comes to the bench. So since Nash went out, it's been a 7-0 run for the Kings. And it only took 1 minute and 33 to do it. Now we'll see what happens with Bibby out.
Well, he is tough to guard. He's just so herky-jerky.
That's a 3 from Finley off the mark and boarded by Bobby Jackson, playing with the cracked orbital bone. Still, he has stuck his nose right in there tonight with 7 rebounds. Divac to Turkoglu. Couldn't finish. Nowitzki's been rather quiet here in the third.
Well, if they don't double him, he's not going to be quiet very long.
You know, we're right so rarely. I'll just let that sit out there.
I wasn't going to touch it. I was going to let it go.
21-12 for Nowitzki. Now, we tried that two-man game with Turkoglu. That time Jackson faked the cut down the lane.
Boy, stretching oblique with that pass.
Jackson is blocked by LaFrentz and a foul. It was the big body of LaFrentz that forced the injury to Bobby Jackson, but that shows you a pretty good, strong conscience by Jackson. Not afraid to go right back in there where it hurt before.
That's exactly what we said earlier on. That's his mentality. He knows one mode, attack mode. That's the only mode this guy knows, both offensively and defensively.
The break, as Michelle told you before, was high enough that he did not need to wear a mask. And a violent collision, as you see him coming in, just takes the brunt of it. When asked how painful it was, and Jackson's played through a lot of pain, it's the kind of guy he is. He just shook his head when I was talking to him before. He goes, I haven't felt pain like that before. But the swelling was not there yesterday as they thought it would be. LaFrentz takes a 2 and missed it good. High stretching rebound for Christie. Rick Adelman was worried because he had the same injury when he was a player and thought it was going to be a little bit longer. But high enough that he didn't need the mask. It has been in here and effective. Vlade over the head to Peja. Good job by LaFrentz staying active defensively. 8 to shoot. The clock never recycled. It never hit the rim. Stojakovic. In the quarter for Peja, 27 in the game. LaFrentz attacks the rim. And a chance for a three-point play. Divac should have let him go.
Yeah, you just let him go. You're beat on that one. You don't give up the foul. And watch this. This ball goes as deep in the basket as it possibly can before it has to hit net. That thing's like 3/4 of the way down before it touches some twine. And right there, Vlade Divac just got no man's land. Great for LaFrentz with a good job at recognizing it, cutting right to the hole, and Dirk Nowitzki finds it. But either Vlade's got a double, or he's got to go get Ray for friends, one or the other.
LaFrentz misses badly on the free throw. He had made 8 of 9 thus far in the playoffs. Steve Nash has come back in. It was -7 for Dallas. The tied game went to a 7-point deficit during his absence. Divac. Well, everything has run through Vlade here in the middle 6 minutes of quarter number 3, and it's done Sacramento well. They lead by 9.
Well, he's taking the place. Everything would be running through Weber. If Weber were in the game, it's Vlade stepping up.
Nice wrinkle here in the second half by the Sacramento coaching staff. Nowitzki's pass is knocked away. 6 to shoot for the Mavs. All of a sudden, Dallas has gone quiet offensively. Chris Webber's loving it. He's hating not being a part of it. He's trying to stay in it and support his team. Back in Sacramento, where they're having a lot of fun. Sacramento leading Dallas 87-78. During the timeout, by the way, while we were away, they have so many different... I'll tell you about it in a minute. I'll show you the Miller Lite storyline first. Dallas shooting 46% from behind the arc. The Sacramento 67. Not as many, but just as effective because of their performance and proficiency. Points in the paint, 2-1 in favor of Sacramento. Now, during the timeout, every arena has games. They moved this young lady way back for her putt. Reggie Jackson came out of the stands, moved her up closer to the hole, makes the ball. Look at Reggie. That's Reggie going nuts back there. It comes over and picks her up. Mr. October, Mr. May for the night. Roger Clemens here as well as he came over with Reggie. You know, the playoffs are fun. It was fun. I was looking over at Raj before. We were looking over each other during a timeout, and Roger just watching the intensity and the three-point, just shaking his head. And it's a guy who just earlier today won his 298th game in his Major League Baseball career, getting closer to that magic 300 mark. So he's a guy who knows about great athletic prowess. A funny moment here in quarter number 3. All right, Tom, what does Dallas have to get back to try to keep Sacramento from getting too far away?
Well, it's just for them. I'd say getting the ball to Nowitzki is always a good option. And when you're living and dying by 3, sometimes when you get so hot from behind the arc, you don't realize when you've cooled off.
Right.
And in 3 minutes, you could be down 13 points. You'd say, oh, my goodness, what just happened? So they can't just rely on the three-point shot.
Divac is fouled as Finley says, well, of course I'm going to be underneath him, but too bad. Let's go visit with Michelle for a second.
Well, guys, Chris Webber is not talking to the media. He's barely spoken to his team, but he told me off camera that he was, quote, shocked and devastated by the news that his injury may be season-ending. And, Mike, he seems genuinely aware that people feel badly for him, and he is genuinely appreciative of that fact, Mike.
Okay, Michelle, thanks. It's funny. Every time Chris Webber seems to be on the doorstep of success and something great happening to him, something happens. You know, you think of the Fab Five, 50-50, 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, the second half, they lose their game. This was the injury, of course, on Thursday night in Game 2, the torn meniscus in his knee, and he knew it was bad right away. He said he heard a bit of a popping sound. LaFrentz runs the floor, gets the dunk. And as soon as it's 10, it's right back to 8. Divac shot the free throws and never got back on the race.
Transition defense is that? On a made free throw. He had him beat by 5 feet. Jeez. I've heard of bad transition defense, but that one takes the cake.
Stojakovic trying to keep it alive here in the third. Misfires, and the Mavs will try to hop back in it. Down 8. Nash playing with 4. Bibby sitting with 4. Finley left open for 3. Michael Finley hasn't been able to get his stroke down tonight. Turkoglu comes away with the board. Finley is 5 of 15, Tom.
Can't lose your aggressiveness. You still got to be able to take it to the hole and make him play D.
Jackson rims one out, and Van Exel gets the board.
Now, Finley's much more than just a three-point shooter. He can get into the lane and get over you. And right now,
it's a hoist fest here.
Yeah.
Jackson with speed in the lane. Misfire. Nice defense there by Dallas. Track meet the other way. Nash to Finley. Van Exel runs for the line. And shoots 3.
When are they going to shoot the money ball? Where's the money ball? Where's the money ball?
And Rick Adelman's furious with Peja for just hoisting here. Van Exel makes it.
Oh, he's not laughing.
No. Five down. That means, hey, we're slowing down. Give me the big guy in the box and let's run some offense here.
Well, he talked about that earlier. Earlier before the game. Let's not get caught up in it.
Yes.
And for that minute and a half right there, they were definitely caught up in it.
Here's 5 down. There's the big man in the box. Go get him.
Yeah, push.
On LaFrentz, and Vlade goes back to push Rafe LaFrentz for no apparent reason. Remember, Divac has a technical foul. Nothing transpires from that verbal exchange. Tomorrow, NBA playoff action continues on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. Spurs and Lakers will play Game 4. Of course, you can log on to NBA.com for all the latest on the 2003 NBA playoffs, the playoff section. Divac missed that one.
Boy, they stink on the free throw line in the third quarter. And that's their advantage. I mean, their advantage is being able to get to the free throw line, but you take away that advantage if you can't make your free throws.
And now 8 of 14 here in the quarter. Sacked by 7. It's 7 the difference between the game and shot clock. Turkoglu now gets Van Exel. Christie has defense with Nowitzki. They're trying to be physical. Lost the ball as he created contact. Van Exel fouls Turkoglu out high. No fouls to give. Oh, Nick picks one up. His second. Things getting a little testy now as words continue to be exchanged after these fouls.
I like the no call right here. I like the no call. Christie tried to get a little bit of a flop there. And then Van Exel hitting Turkoglu on the sideline. That's one of those fouls where maybe you think you got cheated the time down the court, and a foul you don't want to commit 40 feet away from the bucket. It serves no purpose other than to put Turkoglu on the line.
Well, Rick Adelman's team had 31 more attempts in the first 2 games, and have extended that here tonight. One more coming for Turkoglu. Dallas has shot 5 free throws.
And I'd like to say the Kings. Give the Kings some credit in the third quarter for holding the Mavericks so far to 20 points, but Mavericks are just doing what they did earlier in the game. Now they're just missing three-pointers instead of making them.
You can't give a team 52 more free throw attempts in 3 games and expect to win a series. You just can't. You can't have 5 free throw attempts in a playoff game. Christie a foul, but they had a foul to give. I think that's the first in the last 2 minutes. Yes, it is. 2 on Christie. But well done there. 2.2 to go. Vlade icing that arm. It got kicked earlier. Has been physical in the paint.
Well, with 2 seconds left, let's see whose turn it is here to throw up a 3.
Nowitzki. And we come to the end. Just 20 points scored by the Mavericks in that third quarter. Peja Stojakovic, 8 in the first, 8 in the second, 11 there in the third. Tripling a few times as the Mavs went cold from the outside. Only 2 of 9 from behind the arc in the third. Off we go to quarter 4. The series is tied. Game 3's lead belongs to the home team by 9. Well, the series is tied at 1. Game 3 is always pivotal, so this is a very important quarter. Sacramento by 9. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, this is important, and Dallas will be without one of its weapons. Adrian Griffin out of this game. His right ankle bothering him. It's a re-injury of an old ankle injury. So after 12 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Adrian Griffin done for the evening, Mike.
Okay, Michelle, so that'll limit some of the defensive things Dallas will try to do. That's why Griffin was starting for Don Nelson. He's coming off a playoff career best, 15 points as well. What struck you from the third quarter there, Tom?
Well, just Dallas' reliance on the three-point shot. When it's going great, you have a quarter like the second where you score 39. When it's not, you have quarters like the first and third where you score 23 and 20. They have to get back to being aggressive and taking it to the hole like the Kings have been doing, and the Kings 0 turnovers there in the third quarter.
Hard to believe the pace of this game at 91-82. Sack didn't turn it over in the third. Van Exel a 3, so maybe it will be just the even quarters. They were 6 of 10 shooting in the second, 5 of 17 from behind the arc in the first and third. Van Exel now has 20 after his 36-point performance in Game 2. He had 20 in the first game. Stojakovic misses, Nowitzki the board, and Dallas gets back in this game so quickly. We saw it happen in the second.
And if they lose the lead, up 9 going into third, if the Mavericks start making a push, look for Divac maybe to get back off the bench. He was their focal point of the offense in the third quarter.
Nowitzki working Turkoglu, drew some defensive help. Stojakovic couldn't squeeze it, 6 to shoot. For the Mavs, 60-win team in 2003.
It's funny, if you put Divac and Cam Clark together, you may have Chris Webber. Guy with long arms, with lock shots, do stuff, but Keon Clark can't pass like Nowitzki, or like Divac, excuse me.
Turkoglu got Nowitzki on the arm. Chris shaking his head in disagreement. I was talking before, I mean, the pace of this game, you can't tell any story, but you know, every time Webber is on the precipice of something great happening, something bad happens. The timeout, the Final Four, the second time against North Carolina, they get in the game, the chance with the missed free throw, and then Webber nearly travels, then calls timeout, which has been talked about very often. During his NBA days, you know, the high pick as he's drafted back in 1993, #1, it doesn't work out in various places. Doesn't get along with Nelly. Nelly trades him. Doesn't go well in Washington. Gets here. Gets close last year. LA beats them. And here they are coming off a great Game 1 in the playoff series, and he had as bad a day professionally as he could ever have. His school is told, Michigan, a place he loves, a place he grew up, that they have to disassociate with him for 10 years because of what happened in the booster scandal that he faces trial for over the summer, and he gets the knee injury to likely keep him out the rest of the playoffs. Back to 4, 91-87. They go inside for Stojakovic. Great pass from Christie.
And see Stojakovic working the baseline right here. He's going to find a nice little cozy place to hide right there. The friends can't get over quickly enough. Get yourself to the free throw line. He can't miss 3 in a row. There's no way. All right.
There you have it. Hey now, he's 2 of 6 from the line. 4 misses in the game. He only had 4 misses in his prior 7 playoff games this year. The 12th best shooter in the league. Missing a couple of easy ones. Point sack lead. LaFrentz came to the goal, but didn't catch it. Nash just looked like, come on, man. You can't do that. Christie, Stojakovic, they'll get a chance to make some more. Nowitzki with the foul.
You can't miss 4 in a row. There's people out there that are Kings fans going, shut up. It's enough. I'm telling you. You will see me with ABBA's greatest hit collection in my car before you see him miss. In fact, I will go out and buy ABBA's greatest hits if he misses his free throw. And I will play it on the way home. Oh, thank you.
I was thinking Take a Chance on Me. That was the first ABBA song that came to mind. Look at this. And this is 6 free throw attempts, and you can't win. They might. I could be very wrong. It's hard. Look at this.
Well, when you shoot jump shots, it's hard to get to the free throw line. And that's all they've been doing.
It has been one-sided for Sacramento all 3 games shooting free throws.
Well,
Nowitzki's head hit the ground, and Stojakovic fouled him. Nash also hit the deck.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't gone a little bit more to the pick and roll with Nash and Nowitzki. That is hard to defend. And right there, just a little elbow in the back, and spill the other teammate. Raise your hand, say, yep, that was me. I love when they raise their hand, that was me. Well, of course it was you. No one else is over there. You know it was you.
It's funny, it's such a free-flowing offensive game where we've had so many three-point shots taken, a total of 40. There's been a lot of hard fouls.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys hitting the deck hard here tonight.
Well, they're getting after it. Now, I would say, I'll give you the old cliche and say this is a pivotal game, but I think every game in the playoffs is a pivotal game. Everybody getting the sneakers out, the squeegee out, Joey Crawford getting in there. But they need to get back. I'm surprised they haven't gone to the Nash Nowitzki pick and roll a little bit more, because that's one of the more difficult things to stop in the game of basketball nowadays. Both guys can shoot, both guys can handle, and a lot of times they'll reverse it and have Nash come set a pick for Nowitzki, which is even doubly difficult because you never see that.
Jackson there defensively to deter. Van Exel got Christie in the air. Nick off the window. That's 5 in the quarter for Van Exel, who had a great scoring second quarter, now has 22 points here on the night. He had 13 in that second quarter. Christie rising up. Good weak side rebound by Stojakovic. What a game for Peja. He has 33 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Nash. Nothing.
And not only can Peja Stojakovic do it, shooting the ball right there. Good vision, getting inside Michael Finley. And like I said earlier, you don't realize this guy, about 6'10", a big guy, can get in there and give you those offensive boards.
Peja went for 37 in a playoff game 2 years ago against the Phoenix Suns at America West. Christie inside. Keon Clark trying to keep it alive. 3 to shoot for Jimmy Jackson. Look, former Mav gets Joe and Gavin Maloof up and cheering.
And I guess that's the last time you'll say that tonight. 3 to shoot.
That's right. Nick leading. Jackson the board. Out off Van Exel. Sacramento controlling this stretch of the game. And the timeout comes at a good time for the Mavs. On their feet at Arco. What else is new?
Can be a fighter. Richard Jefferson.
Jackson by Big Ben. Dunked it with the step, gives it up. Robin. A 3-on-2 kid. Welcome to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen.
Time for the Dockers Defenders Edge, and Nick Van Exel, one of 4 Dallas steals.
Nick Van Exel doing it all. How about the nice finish?
Problem is they need more of that now as they trail. Van Exel doing a great job playing the passing lanes. Log on to ESPN.com and vote for the Dockers Defenders Edge. Mike?
Good thing we have two sharp guys in the studio. Very hard to find a Dockers defensive edge in this one.
That's great when the guy on the team with the Dockers defender's edge has given up 99 points for 9 minutes.
Peja Stojakovic closing in on the best playoff game of his career. 37's his career high is 33 tonight. Here's Michelle.
Walt Williams in the game for the first time, and his instruction, stop Peja, guys.
He was 0 of 4, got into it with Hito Turkoglu at the back end of the blowout in game 2 and was ejected. And Williams right now has Keon Clark as Finley drew Peja off the switch. They hit Van Exel, then Nowitzki in the head. Jackson came away with the rebound. Bobby Jackson plays with Jim Jackson, Christie, Clark, and Stojakovic. Christie to Jimmy Jacks, the ex-Mav. Can't make the three. Look at Stojakovic active on the glass. He got it to go! Van Exel draws two. Williams' first shot. A miss. Nash saving in front of the Michigan State sweats-wearing Mateen Cleaves on the bench. Van Exel on the take. 7 in the quarter for Nick. Maybe it's Mateen's lucky set of sweats.
It better be.
Or he was listening to One Shining Moment coming over. The leader, the heart and soul of Tom Izzo's championship team from 3 years ago, turned over as Christie and Jimmy Jackson played the two-man game. 0 to 50 in 2.2. And it's goaltending. Count it. We covered 50 feet in the blink of an eye. 8-point game.
It's like a quarter horse. Let him out of the gate, and he was gone. Of course, it always helps when weak side defenders are looking up in row 115. He just run right up their back.
Dallas going to need some defensive stops. Sacramento's half-court offense has been very good here in half number 2, trying to take a 2-1 series lead. Bobby Jackson doing it alone. What a complete game he's had for a guy with a broken bone in his face. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists for Bobby Jackson. That was called free shot on Stojakovic. Bibby comes back in with 4 fouls. Foul on Peja was his 4th.
Well, you watch him run that pick and roll, and usually they run the pick and roll and try to post Nowitzki. Well, that time they ran the pick and roll, and Nowitzki just went over to the weak side.
By the way, Tom, when Bibby went out earlier with 4, Nash connects. Bibby went out with his 4th. Sacramento was up 7. He comes back, they're up 10. So when Nash was on the bench with his 4 fouls, Dallas was -7. When Bibby was out, the Kings were at +3. Speaks to what Don Nelson was talking about. Yes, the Weber injury is so devastating to them, but he feels Sacramento's a deeper team and can balance it out a little bit better than other teams would. Jackson missed, Bibby hit the deck hard, Nash is 5th.
What helps when you can plug in the 6th man of the year.
Sure, Bibby's okay. As he came down hard. Nobody's feeling 100% this time of the year, but remember all these bumps and bruises. Adrian Griffin, Nash here, Bibby here, I should say. We go back-to-back. Game 4 starts in less than 24 hours. Jackson around Van Exel, wrap around Clark.
For a little guy, he sure lives in the pain, doesn't he?
Nash tries to quiet with a 3.
That's the great thing about Dallas. They can go cold for 4 minutes to get down 12, and in 2.5 minutes, they can be right back in your face.
Remember Sports Center on as soon as we're done. Here in Sacramento, 10 to shoot. Bibby launching. And it's out off Sacramento. Mavs ball. Nash circles it, draws everybody. Finley, one more pass. Williams 3 rims out. Well, it's got to be tough to come into this game especially and catch up with the pace. Bibby hands to Stojakovic. Went right at Williams and Clark finished it. Keon Keon Clark, 11 points. He hasn't missed a shot tonight. 5 of 5 and 5 rebounds. Van Exel takes Jackson in. They'll come to the free throw line. Game's going so fast. There's supposed to be an official timeout at that last whistle. They just got it and go. This is just breakneck pace all 3 games. Entertaining basketball between 2 of the most entertaining teams in the league. They average over 100. They've been over 100 every game. We're going there again tonight. Keon Clark has 11, a difference maker for Sacramento in Game 3.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Saturn, makers of the View, redesigned L Series, and the all-new Ion, and Panasonic, ideas for life.
What a great night it's been for Peja Stojakovic here in Sacramento. 35 here in the game. One of the reasons the Kings are on top, and the subject tonight of our Sprite Mad Skills.
And he's putting them to sleep like zzz, inside, outside. They lose that guy. He's kind of being sneaky down there on the baseline. And then he says, let me go ahead and sneak in here and get a little putback for you on the offensive glass. Not only doing the pretty stuff, doing the dirty work as well. A sweet tip in on your Sprite Mad Skills.
Stojakovic stepping up his production compared to the rest of the postseason. As the owners, the Maloof brothers, sit with Reggie Jackson. Mark Cuban's had a quiet evening. Nick Van Exel at the line. I know many of you watch the NBA on a regular basis. Some new people come along in playoffs. Got an email from a friend. As you watch Mark Cuban there, who's been silenced a little bit tonight. I had a friend who emailed me asking, why does Nick Van Exel stand so far back? To repeat the story, you might have heard Nick did it about 3.5, 4 years ago. He felt like all of his free throws were long. And jokingly, and he said it again tonight, back off a little bit. It's a little more in my range. But the 15-footer's too close for you? He said, yeah, I feel much more comfortable. He says percentage has improved, and it has since he's moved back on the line. Keon Clark, first field goal miss. I hit the shot clock, so it is out of bounds off Sacramento.
Surprised all the Mavericks don't shoot it from that far back. It's about time to get Dirk Nowitzki involved, too. Had no shots this quarter, 4 for 11 since the first quarter, but he's just been a bystander. Looks a little tired, too. He's not moving, just kind of standing around, walking around.
Nash to Walt Williams, who couldn't convert inside. Bibby breaks out of the pack. Williams behind the play. Now he joins it. Bibby got in the lane, draws everybody. Clark couldn't catch. He's lost a couple out of bounds. So even though Keon Clark's been 5 of 5 and has stepped up here tonight, Mark urging his Maverick team on. That he purchased back in January of 2000. There have been a few times where we've seen plays that Chris Webber would normally have made fumbled by either Clark or Divac. Van Exel trying to stay hot here in the fourth quarter. 5 3-pointers for Van Exel. Nick has 28 on the night. 5-point game inside of 4 minutes. And Stojakovic heat up again. Look at Finley. No airspace to move. He spins, loses Finley.
You want to know how to be an all-star? Be able to hit shots like that. That's a tremendous defense.
Nash all the way. Jackson comes over defensively and fouls. Good Ellis point guard.
And Michael Finley, you could not do any better than Michael Finley did here defensively. Right up in him, not going to let him shoot, going to make him put the ball on the ground. Chest to chest, arm on the hip a little bit, spin with him in your face, mouth.
Doesn't look like the guy who ended the regular season 3 of 27 shooting threes, does he? One more coming for the third best free throw shooter in the NBA this season, Steve Nash.
Goes to show you how good these guys are. That when you're a great offensive player and you get things going, it's hard for one guy to stop you.
Steve Nash, 5 boards and 7 assists to go with his 24 point night. He is 24, Nowitzki 23, Van Exel 28. You're going to need them all here in the final 3:20. Bibby, the time lost Nash, but threw it away. Nowitzki fouled up at midcourt and is 5 on Mike Bibby. See the SportsCenter bottom line coming in. A good chance to remind you, SportsCenter comes up right after the end of our playoff doubleheader. Earlier in Game 1, Philadelphia won its first game of the series, beating Detroit 93-83. Here's Sacramento trying to take a 2-1 edge in the best-of-7 Western Conference semifinal. Nowitzki makes his first shot of the quarter.
You wonder if they'll be able to get him involved in the offense the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds. It's just watching him. He's not posting up as aggressively as he once was. He's setting the pick and roll, flaring over to the weak side. We'll see if they can get him incorporated in the offense the last 3 minutes of the game.
He was 5 of 7 in the first quarter, 4 of 11 from the field since. Half-court execution could be the deciding factor. 10 to go. Same matchup, Stojakovic around Finley. The runner with the right hand won't go. Got it back. Not again. Clark keeps it alive. To Bibby, and they'll back it out with 2:45 to go in the fourth. Same place. They love this matchup. Clark's going to help. Does it on his own. Van Exel goes up and gets it. A 3 can tie. Nash squares the game at 109.
We're in a little pick and roll with Bobby Jackson here. Mike Bibby hasn't really been all that effective running the pick and roll.
Clark fouled by Walt Williams. He held him. Free shot. Well, a very good comeback here by Dallas in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. The same way. They've hit some big shots, including Steve Nash, who has hit 10 of 17 from the field. Walt Williams in this game late tees up Nash. That's about the same place he hit a triple to force overtime in the regular season final meeting between these teams. Dallas has hit 15 threes tonight after 17 in Game 2. If you're going to get up, get back in your seat and tighten up your seatbelt. You got to buckle up for the last 2:07 from Arthur. Back in Sacramento with Michelle Tafoya and Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico, all even at 109. 2:07 to go. Here is the Saturn game track. Those 34 three-point attempts. Dallas approaching another playoff record here tonight. Nash has 27. Stojakovic, 37 points. It's been Dallas in the second and fourth quarter where they have made a difference. A 7-0 run by the Mavs have squared this game. 3 timeouts, every foul, free throws. Keon Clark missed the first.
I remember last year in Game 7 against the Lakers where they were so bad for the free throw line. I think 14 for 30 rings a bell. And today in the second half, haven't been able to capitalize on the freebies.
They have missed 10 free throws. Sacramento has attempted 23 more free throws than Dallas. Nash for the lead. Missed it. Stojakovic the rebound.
Oh, they're going to live with it. They're going to die with it. The three-point shot it's got him behind tonight, and it's got him back into it.
Setting another record from behind the arc tonight, Dallas. 15 of 35 attempts. Nearly the steal forced by Walt Williams. 5 to shoot. It's Bibby. It's 3. Nowitzki on the board. Dirk's 17th to go with his 25 points. 90 seconds left. Van Exel posting Bibby. Nick got him in the air. Got to the cup and got fouled. You can follow the NBA legends on NBA.com with the Love It Live playoff tour. Paul Silas, the former New Orleans Hornets coach, will be coaching somewhere undoubtedly in the 2003-2004 season. Of course, a legend, former teammate of Nelly. Van Exel squares the game at 110.
And this is one thing this team does well, is shoot free throws. They may not shoot a lot of them, but when they get up there, they make them. Led the NBA this year in free throw percentage.
Second best ever to the 90 Boston Celtics. Back-to-back 30-point games for Nick Van Exel, who had 36 in Game 2. Best game of this series. We've had 2 blowouts. Now we've got a tight one. Dallas 111, Sacramento 110. Kings ball when we come back. Back here in Arco, Dallas has shot 57% from the field in fourth quarter, making a big impression as they try to win a game on the road and take a 2-1 series lead here in the best of 7. See, the Mavs have been hot in the second and hot in the fourth, and the big reason is Nick Van Exel, who had a 13-point second quarter, equaling it here in the fourth.
Now you can just see him getting off defensively, taking it all the way for the left, and it's just his will to win, his will to play. He's never afraid to take a big shot, won't pass up a shot, and he can create his own shots. He's been doing it from the outside, doing it from the inside. You see right there, that's just something you just rise up and shoot over somebody, and he's not afraid to take those shots.
Obviously a non-starter, but he did have good minutes in the first and third quarter. He had 2 points in the first, 13 in the second, 2 points in the third, now 13 here in the fourth. They come with Raja Bell defensively for Walt Williams.
Vlade Divac's back in the game. I would look for him to get the ball down on the low block. If you don't double, he can shoot that rolling hook going into the middle, and he's a great passer off the double teams and the pick and rolls.
Nowitzki will get him. Bobby Jackson matches up on Raja Bell. Finley tries to deny airspace to Stojakovic. Here is Divac. Looking, waiting for cutters. They clear the lane for him. Vlade across the lane, pitches out. Bibby up top, triple. It's good! He hit big shots all playoffs last year. Makes one there by 2. Van Exel stepping back and launching 3. Air ball. Divac the rebound. To Stojakovic. Nelly says no foul. Play it out. They want to
get it right back to Divac in the low post.
Same deal. Nowitzki tries to front him this time. Vlade gets position. 8 to shoot. Christie clears space. The double comes. Stojakovic for a back-breaking 3. Raja Bell gets the board. They say go with 15 seconds. 2-point game. Nelly loves to keep it on the floor. Nash drives. Raja Bell's not going to take it. Van Exel will. 7 to shoot. Van Exel in the lane for the tie. He got it. Timeout Sacramento with 3 8/10 to go. I love when Nelly does that. Keep it on the floor.
Absolutely. You don't give the other team time to set up defense, time to set up some sort of scheme. You get it, you go, and when you have 4 players like he has, who can all create and take it, it's to your advantage not to call that timeout.
And a key play by Raja Bell, understanding this isn't a place for me to take that shot, and keeping it alive.
Could this be better? Hey, could this be better? An unbelievable game, unbelievable shots. Big players stepping up. Van Exel's been doing it all quarter. The little teardrop right there in the lane. 15 points in the fourth to send it possibly into OT. I tell you what, with 4 seconds left, unless you can inbound it right to Vlade Divac, you don't really have time to throw it in and set something up. No. So you look for a guy who can create for you. That's Mike Bibby. That's Bobby Jackson. That's Peja Stojakovic. One of those guys you want to get, and maybe if you see Bobby Jackson or Mike Bibby get it, and Peja set a pick for him. That way, if you drive and they double, you have somebody that can shoot that you can kick it back to and hit an open shot.
Their last game of the regular season went to overtime. Game 4 of their series last year went to overtime. Sacramento won that game, went on to win the series in 5. There's a pivotal moment here. 3.8 to go. Divac's taking a lot of leadership on the way out of that huddle. What a game for Van Exel with 32. Joe and Gavin Maloof, the owners, watch on. As does Mark Cuban and Don Nelson and everyone else. Kings have 3 chances to stop it. The Mavs just 1. Christie will inbound. He has Bibby, Divac, Stojakovic, and Bobby Jackson.
You cannot leave Stojakovic in this situation. You got to be on him.
Raja Bell guarding Bobby Jackson. Finley will try to deny Peja. Nowitzki, Nash, and Van Exel. It's Bibby in the corner for two. Off the rim. It's tipped up. Christie got it up. No good, and we will go to overtime. I think that would have counted if it would have gone. He knew he had no time to reset. Well, they did it once in the regular season, once in last year's Western Conference semifinal. They'll do it here. Overtime is next. The NBA playoffs on ESPN. Good late-time performances. Devon's kicks it out to Bibby to put Sacramento on top with 1 minute left. And the nervous fans at Arco waiting to see if their Kings were going to lose a home game without their star, Chris Webber. Felt a lot better when Bibby's triple went in. But after an exchange, Nick Van Exel gets it back. No timeout by Nelly. Van Exel gets in the lane, creates part of his terrific fourth quarter where he scored 15. Ties this game, and we are going to overtime. They split, as you see, in overtime this year. And the tip controlled by Bibby.
Well, if the trend holds, this should be a Kings quarter. They've owned the odd quarters, and Dallas has owned the even quarters.
On the French, fans thought it would be Nash's sixth. On the French, and he has fouled out. So Walt Williams will come in. The French takes a seat. We have not seen Sean Bradley at all in action tonight.
I would try to run as much stuff as I could through Vlade Divac.
When they were good in the half court.
Right now, he's got Walt Williams on him. He can't guard him.
Divac faking, taking, making.
Too big for him. But now you got to take advantage of who's Vlade going to guard defensively.
A three from Finley. A little defensive confusion there. Christie didn't get over defensively.
Well, that was just bad recognition. You know what they're looking for. You've seen it for 48 minutes.
Maybe looked at the line. Short on three. Jackson chased it down. Hoisting. Side of the glass. Nowitzki looking to get going in the OT. Hasn't taken many shots at all since halftime.
Well, it'd be tough to ask this guy to get his rhythm back. 3.5 minutes left to go in overtime when he didn't even shoot hardly at all in the fourth quarter.
His first shot since the third quarter. There it is, Nowitzki defensively this time on Divac. Didn't get it to go. Nash pushed Williams. Nobody has him. Good recovery defensively as Bibby sprinted back. Trying to play in that free safety position as the point guard should.
Well, I think you get confused because when you think of Walt Williams, you certainly don't see a center, but that's who's guarding him.
Nash almost lost the handle. Bobby Jackson lost him. Nash got a step. Divac came over. Good body control by Steve. Dallas up 3 with 3:15 to go in OT. 29 for Nash. To go with 32 for Van Exel and 25 for Nowitzki. Stojakovic has led Sacramento with 37. Christie at 3. Big shot as his confidence has returned a little bit from the outside here tonight. All even at 118. Each team has 5 overtime points. Mismatch underneath. Finley with Bibby. Williams gets it to Finley. And he attacks the rim.
The Wizard coming in creating a little offense.
Just fun, exciting basketball. Hard to sit down for the fans. Jackson goes in all the way. Missed it. Divac did not.
I guess the question could be posed, and even though Keon Clark did a nice job on the boards in the fourth quarter, where was Vlade Divac for the entirety of the fourth?
Williams going to take a 3 and knock it down. Walt Williams a big triple. Fear the turtle. The former Maryland star. Divac lost the handle and Finley takes it away. Nash is pushing the bounce for Van Exel. Keeps it alive to Nowitzki. Can't get that shot to go. So out of rhythm.
Oh, why take a layup when you take a jumper?
Already 90 seconds left in a non-stop overtime. A three for Christie again! That's the first time Chris Webber smiled in 2 days. Everybody up. All even at 123. Nowitzki cutting. No whistle. Stojakovic the board.
Well, he can post him up. Somebody's going to have to come over and help him or it is backing down.
He's doing it across the lane, and the foul is called.
I'm not sure where these have been coming from, but he's got the stroke right now. First it was the right, then it was the left, and Chris Webber thinking, we could use it. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Stojakovic, 4 of 8 at the line before that one. Now has a career playoff best, 38 points. And will equal the highest scoring game of his NBA career if he makes this one. Sacramento by 2. And we'll re-inbound it.
Columnist Bruce Jenkins of the San Francisco Chronicle had a little piece today, and I concur with him when he said, I wish this series could be best of 19.
That's good. They started the clock when the ball was inbounded, but Nash had not touched it, and they did the same thing again. Joey Crawford's got it. Great job by Joey. Until Nash touches the ball, the clock should not be started, and they made the same mistake twice, so we'll go back to 103 on the clock and 24 on the shot. SportsCenter coming as soon as we're done. Latest on the health of Phil Jackson, hospitalized for a blocked artery today in Los Angeles. Recap of the Pistons-Sixers Game 3 earlier tonight on ESPN. Divac on the switch. Where's the mismatch? Finley taking 3. In and out. Vlade on the board. Ooh, he almost traveled. Whoa. Huge possession. This place will erupt if Sacramento can get this one. Divac to the office. Nowitzki fights him. Ready to come across the lane. Will he shoot or kick? Oh. Got it back. Fouled.
Just when you think he's going to go with that hook, he gives you a little okey-doke spin. Whoop. Back, up and under. Nice pump fake. Good help defense coming over. And just nice staying with it and getting yourself to the free throw line. Now you got to make the free throws to make it count.
6 of 10 at the line, 16 of 20 coming into tonight during this playoff run. Quick 2 if you're Dallas.
Oh, yeah. No, even if if you're down 3 right here, what you want to do is get dribble penetration, kick it out for 3, and then knowing then they'll just fire it from there. But Sacramento will really be expecting you to shoot a 3. That opens up driving lanes, and they're not going to want to put you on the free throw line, so a lot of times it's an easy layup. Of course, you got to make the free throw to get yourself up 3.
Chance for Vlade. Each team still plenty of timeouts. Missed them both. And time is called by the Mavs. So much like we saw Thursday in Auburn Hills, where Allen Iverson missed 2 free throws, Vlade Divac misses 2, and Dallas will come down with a chance to tie or lead.
Hi, everybody. Brian Kenny here alongside Steve Berthium. SportsCenter comes your way right after the game.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. A major health scare for Phil Jackson. Controversy at the Kentucky Derby. They may disqualify the winner. We'll also go back to Sacramento for postgame and analysis of what's turned out to be a terrific game. Let's get you back for the finish right now. Mike Tirico is courtside. It's a 2-point game.
All right, Steve and Brian, thank you. I guess hold all tickets from the Derby is about a week too late, huh? On the reset here, Kings can stop it 3 times. Kings do have a foul to give here in OT.
We certainly don't want to. You don't want to give a foul, and right now the free throws, you know, fourth quarter and overtime. We talked about Dallas being the best in the business, 9 for 10. Sacramento only 5 for 9. The reason you don't want to, unless you get yourself in a bad way, to give a foul, right? Because if you do, right now you're going to get the last shot of the game.
Absolutely.
If you give that foul, then they control their own destiny.
Only if you need it. It's good to know if you need to give a foul. That's not going to automatically put them at the line. Finley, Williams, Van Exel, Nash, and Nowitzki, the 5 on the floor for Dallas. Jackson, Christie, Jimmy Jackson joins Bobby, Stojakovic, and Bibby. So Divac off the floor to guard all the shooters of the Mavs. With Williams and Nowitzki, Dallas has the size to get to the glass. There's a foul called out high. Stojakovic and Bibby were trying to deal with the pick and roll. 5 on Peja.
Well, Nash, a little inside pivot right there. And Stojakovic ran right up its back.
You know, we could very well be looking at double overtime. Remember, both Stojakovic and Bibby have 5 personal fouls. 3 seconds, the difference, game and shot. Nash got free. So Walt Williams inside for the dunk. All square at 1:25. Shot clock off. Sacramento timeout. Walt Williams coming up grande here in the 4th in overtime, playing in part because of Adrian Griffin's right ankle injury. Has only averaged 12 minutes a game and hasn't gotten off the bench in 5 of the 9 Dallas playoff games coming into tonight. He'd only played 48 minutes. But the 11th-year veteran who was drafted by Sacramento 11 years ago scores a big hoop against his old team. All square. Great playoff basketball tonight. All square at 125. Each team can stop it twice. Dallas has seen Nash, Van Exel, and Finley each hit 5 3-pointers. They've taken 39 3-pointers, shattering the NBA single-game playoff record by 5 for 3-pointers attempted. And now it's down to Sacramento here with a tie game. What do you like?
I don't know. I have carpal tunnel just watching this game for 1 minute. So I can't stop it. I can't stop it. I like Flotty. He gets the ball to Flotty in the post. I think he's got an advantage with his weight over Dirk Nowitzki. Then if you have to double, you can hit a shooter that's spotting up.
Sacramento's going to take it the length of the floor here. Not take it at midcourt. Bobby Jackson to trigger. Raja Bell out defensively. And here we go.
You can't wait too long here. You don't want to get off a bad shot.
Stojakovic to Divac. Clock at 5.
Got to go.
Here is Peja. He's had a career night. This one for the win is short. And we're going to double overtime. All right.
Hey!
Did somebody say 3 OTs?
Absolutely.
Here's your second one. The rest so everybody can inhale. One owner, Joe Maloof, just frustrated. Mark Cuban said, keep it alive. It was Peja to cap off the best night of his career with the winner. It didn't. This would have been late. Good try. Second OT coming up. SportsCenter's coming up with Brian Kenny and Steve Berthiaume. A report from David Aldridge on Phil Jackson having the angioplasty today in Los Angeles. Breakdown of Game 3 that Brett Musburger, Sean Elliott, and Sal Masakela had for you earlier on ESPN. Philadelphia's 93-83 win. And the funny business at the Kentucky Derby, plus all the baseball coming up on SportsCenter. 1:13 when we started overtime 1, 1:25 as we start overtime 2. Peja equaling the best game of his NBA career. Nick Van Exel in rare territory. Player coming off the bench to score 30-plus points in back-to-back playoff games. The big 4 for Dallas. Over 100 for the second straight game. And Sean Bradley makes an appearance.
Oh, nice outlet pass.
And Bobby Jackson connects.
Nelly's like, what happened? Are you kidding me?
Complete freeze there.
I give Bradley an assist for that one. There's one hop right there. Dallas right now, they've just been trying to get the ball to either Van Exel or Nash. Let him break the defender down and score or find somebody.
Nick in the lane, gets it, and a foul. Well, it's the sixth period. Nick has had a great second and a fourth, so why not the sixth? And Bibby has fouled out, so Mike Bibby is gone.
Hey, look at Nick Van Exel's, oh, the snarl.
Mike Bibby fouls out, 16 points and 3 assists. Bibby had 9 in the opening quarter, so Sacramento, to win game 3 here, has to do it without Chris Webber and Mike Bibby, arguably their two most important players. Dallas 1-point lead. Remember, they play back-to-back nights, so they come right back and do it again tomorrow. Double overtime was not in the plans for either side. Vlade, no basket, fouled by Nowitzki. On the floor, says Hugh Hollins.
And I think that was a good call right before he got it off. But someone's going to have to score. It's like the truck right here. Beep, beep, beep. And then spin. He's going to get him. They don't come back and help. He's too big for him down the low block.
Ouch. Pick to Christie. Missed his three. Nowitzki comes and gets the rebound. Falling out of bounds. Calls for time. Will he get it? And he did. Finley was down, but he's okay. Dirk Nowitzki has 19 rebounds here tonight. 22nd timeout for Dallas. Well, we talked about Bibby fouling out a moment ago and the fact that Stojakovic has 5. There you go on both sides. Nowitzki and Van Exel 4 as well.
Well, it surprised me last series. They go to Vlade, they get the foul, and then they go away from that. That's been the most successful offensive weapon for them. Peja Stojakovic, who's missed his last 5 shots. Christie, who hit a couple big threes, missed a 3 there. But I think at this point of the game, you got to run your offense through that guy right there. He's got to be the one that touches the ball. And if you're Dallas, this guy, Dirk Nowitzki, just a wonderful night on the boards, 19 rebounds.
Career playoff best.
Yeah, I mean, he's been, he hasn't scored, no field goals in the last 20-plus minutes, but he's been doing a job on the defensive end. But right now, it's all about Nick Van Exel and Steve Nash breaking guys down. That's what they're doing.
Got 2 who can do it, and maybe their point guard defenders out. Van Exel on the runner. Didn't get it. Rebound, Jimmy Jackson. With Bobby Jackson, Vlade Divac, Stojakovic, and Christie for Sacramento.
And give Finley some credit, too, for sticking on Peja Stojakovic, not letting him get off, and not letting him get a shot off.
Van Exel runs into the traffic. Nowitzki picked up the foul. That's 5 on Dirk. Nowitzki and Nash each have 5.
I'll give Vlade Divac a little credit on that one for holding him off. Stoned him. Vlade's saying, he has 5. Give me the ball.
You got it. Help's coming. Over Nowitzki off the window. Sacramento back on top. 20 and 10 for Divac.
High pick and roll. You got to make sure you get back to this guy because he can shoot it.
Williams comes right to the goal. Underneath. Scoop shot by Williams.
This one's had it all.
It really has. What we expected from this series. Don't get it till game 3. Sacramento, a terrific effort without Chris Webber. 10 to shoot. Christie, nice move to the right. Got close. Got 2 as he attacked the rim.
Let's not let this one end. Let's keep it going. Let's stay here till 2 in the morning. Till everybody fouls out.
You don't have to work the back-to-back. They do. Nash goes all the way over. Jimmy Jackson! Nash! He has 31. Van Exel has 35. Stojakovic is 39. 5 lead changes in this overtime, and we're only halfway through. Overtime 2. Divac's coming down. No foul by Nowitzki. Jackson off the window. Gives us another lead change. Come on! Nelly says, go get him!
Watch it from 3.
Williams again. Doug Christie gets the rebound.
We've had a stop.
Still what it comes down to. Got to make a stop here somewhere. Nowitzki trying to front the lock for Vlade. Jimmy Jackson missed it. Rebound 20 for Dirk. Nash with an open lane, cut off by Christie. Find a Van Exel, that's 3. That's good! The amazing Nick Van Exel has 38 in the game. 23 since the third quarter ended.
Vlade's trying to set another screen for Bobby Jackson so he can drive baseline.
Asia lost it on the way up to Divac. 5 to shoot. Hand to Bobby Jackson. Nope, that's off. Who's going to get the board? It's out. Off Sacramento. Dallas by 2 with the ball and 1:11 to go in OT number 2.
Well, they're really doing a nice job attacking Vlade Divac offensively. His guy coming out to set the screen and make Vlade Divac run around and try to rotate. So far, the point guards, Van Exel and Nash, have been able to penetrate and get someone open.
Walt Williams again. Will he hit this 3? Yes, he does! The Wizard! A guy who Maryland coach Gary Williams gave so much credit to because he stayed at that program when there was probation there and helped lay a foundation. A class guy who was here in Sacramento. A nomadic NBA stretch. He's been in Sacramento, Miami, Toronto, Portland, and Houston. 6th NBA team. Hitting big shots in this overtime for the Mavs.
Where's Vlade? I mean, that's the question. Watch right here. Vlade. Walt Williams likes to party.
A huge possession coming up for Sacramento. They are down 5, final minute of overtime because of Walt Wizard's work here in these extra sessions.
Setting pick and rolls. Vlade Divac's guarding him right there. He tries to rotate Walt Williams, and then nobody coming out on the Wizard. And magically another 3. Getting it done in the overtime.
10 points. You see a guy who has not done much in the playoffs. As I mentioned, he was on the bench for 5 of the prior 9 Maverick playoff games. He's only played a total of 48 minutes. Huge possession for Sacramento here, down 5. Stojakovic a 3. He missed it, and Eduardo Najarro hasn't played in about a half. Picks up the rebound and is fouled. So Najarro comes in and comes up with a very big play. And a 68% shooter will come to the free throw line.
And he was trying to get rid of that ball as quickly as possible.
That's why. First foul given in the last 2 minutes, or in the overtime, I should say. So no fouls there. Walt Williams comes back in for Najarro.
Well, now you can't. There's no choices. 47 seconds left. If you get in the right situation, you foul, but I don't know if you foul immediately. They're such a good free throw shooting team.
Dallas takes it full. This would be a huge win for Dallas because Sacramento would play with a ton of pressure tomorrow night. Coming back after a double overtime, back-to-back. Yes, they have the deeper team, but without their star, Chris Webber, to be down 2-1 at home for Game 4. Big-time pressure tomorrow night. Well, Game 4 of the other Western Conference semifinal will come your way on ABC tomorrow. We'll start it with the shoot-around at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. We'll be in L.A. in 14 hours. And then Tom, Michelle, and David Aldridge join Brad Nessler and Bill Walton down in L.A. We'll be there as well for the pregame. The whole Phil Jackson story, the angioplasty today, staying in the hospital overnight for observation. All of our best wishes to Phil, but on the court in Game 3, what a turnaround by the Lakers last night.
Well, the big turnaround was 40 free throw attempts. I don't know if that's a case of just being at home, Phil badgering the referees, and making sure that gets worked out and evened out, but they went to the free throw line 40 times. Robert Horry had 13 points, and Robert Horry's going to have to continue to score for them and continue to be aggressive. Right now, he catches the ball sometimes, Mike. He's not even looking at the bucket. He just wants to get away. He's got to be a scorer for them the rest of the playoffs.
He gained some confidence back last night. You would think
so.
Devin George gave them a huge lift coming to Phil Jackson's office 25 minutes before the game and said, I can go on that severely sprained ankle. So it's a 5-point Dallas lead, 47.2 to go. The Mavs do have a foul to give, by the way. Williams, the long trigger to Nowitzki.
Well, you got to foul. If you got one to give, you foul.
Tasia has 5. Dallas is the one with 1 to give.
Yeah.
Christie swiping at it. They'll try to play it out here. Van Exel lost Christie. Big shot. Won't go. Got to squeeze the rebound. Bobby Jackson does. Still time. Sacramento still alive. Jackson runs all the way to get the quick 2. It's a 3-point game. Let's see. Did we get a timeout called? No, we did not. Okay. Dallas is trying to get everybody to get away here. Get down the floor to relieve some of the pressure. Oh, inbound for Nash is thrown away. Millie says Bobby Jackson was holding him. Trying to lob from Nash. He threw it away, and Sacramento's going to get a chance. Oh, my goodness.
Why not? Why not?
What happened?
Nelly was saying that he was holding Steve Nash. Let's see right here. Nowitzki inbounds. Hey, a little grab. And then, I don't know. You know what, though? You can't throw the flags. That's uncatchable. That was going
you know what? You're right. You're being funny. You're right.
Yeah, that was going out of bounds anyway. I mean, that hit Nelly right in the lap.
Wow. Wow. SportsCenter coming up. We'll be back, I'm sure, for some post-game, either here or on ESPN News. Press conferences on ESPN News, NBA TV as well. Post-game press conferences here throughout the playoffs. What a great run it's been so far. We're only in the middle of the second round of the NBA playoffs. Philadelphia getting back, looking like that Detroit series will be a long one. The Lakers doing the same, and here they'll try to even the series, one of these teams, tomorrow night as they come back-to-back.
Well, just, turnovers kill you anytime, but at the end of the game when all you have to do is secure the ball, and Bobby Jackson gets away with a little grab right there, but that's still, that's not a terrible pass. And that pass is long to begin with. And I tell you what, Steve Nash is going to have to make a heck of a play to catch that and keep his feet in bounds.
Dallas only had 1 turnover the prior 27 minutes. So Sacramento obviously in need of a 3 here.
Well, you take it if you can get a good look at it. You can still drive in and foul. The only problem is if you're going to do that kind of thing with Dallas, there's really no one to foul. It's such a great free throw shooting team. But I'd say you catch it, you penetrate, and then see if you can find somebody open for 3.
Devon's out. Stojakovic, Turkoglu back in. Jimmy Jackson, Bobby Jackson, and Christie. Remember, if you're just joining us, Mike Bibby has fouled out.
I wouldn't forget about Turkoglu either.
Shot clock is off. 20 seconds to go. Sacramento needs a 3 to tie the game. Who's going to take it? They switch with Stojakovic. Bobby Jackson goes to the hole. Didn't get it. Jimmy Jackson on the follow. It's a 1-point game. Now can Dallas inbound it this time? They find Nowitzki.
Got to get somebody.
Van Exel running, and they foul Nick. They come to the line with 8.4 to go. 4 of 5 on the night at the line. 38 points for the game. 76% shooter on the season. Van Exel with that unique free throw style will get a chance here for 2. Sacramento does have a 20, so they can advance the ball in midcourt if he makes both.
And the only trouble you run into here, if he makes both, they can foul before you get off a 3.
39 for Van Exel. Backs off the line, so it's more in his range. Off they go. 3-point game. They're going to do it on the run. Jackson for the tie. Missed it. Rebound, Bell. And did we get a foul call? Yes, we did. So the Dallas Mavericks are on their way to a 2-1 series lead. Jim Jackson fouls out. Bobby Jackson hoisting the 3 as they came down the floor and missed it badly. And the fans head for the exit, silenced here at Arco. Raja Bell will shoot the free throws.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to need some ice and stim after this game.
These guys certainly will. To come back here tomorrow. Nelly comes over and has a word with Raja Bell as he's whistled back for his free throws. Bell is 3 of 6 at the line here in the playoffs. None of them coming at a time more important than now. Raja Bell, who made a name for himself as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers in those Eastern Conference Finals. Remember that Game 7 where he had 10 points? They eliminated Milwaukee to move on to the finals where they lost to LA in 5. Makes the big one there to shut the door on Sacramento here. What a big win for the Dallas Mavericks. Missed it. Turkoglu gets the rebound, flings it, and it is all over. The Dallas Mavericks take a 2-1 series lead in double overtime, 141 to 137. They get 116 points from their big four. Van Exel had 40, Nash had 31, Nowitzki 25, Finley 20. And tomorrow night, Sacramento, a team that won 59 games and had a great regular season, plays with huge pressure to even the series on TNT. With Michelle and Tom, Mike Tirico. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from Sacramento. Off we go immediately to SportsCenter.